go low, the city goes high. Stories untold under moonlit skies. Braylon got the vibe, got the flow for the culture. Yeah, you already know. Turn it up, lean back, feel the breeze. Late night truths drifting through the trees. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Headlines flip with a soulful twist. Behind the scenes where the magic sits. It's the heartbeat of the now and the then, where the story starts and never ends. Tune in, lean in, feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire.
Well, hello to you, and you welcome in to another edition of Braylon's Virtual Tour Live. Glad to have all you here in the building with me. Y'all saw the thumbnail, you know my voice is there, you know why you're here. Everybody is talking about Wendy and Eddie and what they did at court today, so let's get into some things. Higher is waiting, lower is available. But either way, we got to go on tour. Yes, indeed. We do 3 tours in one day, everybody. Yes, indeed. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is, hey, everybody, welcome in. Glad to have all of you here in the building once again. Turn down this background music. Yeah, yes, indeed. Although we do love it. We really, really do. But yes. All right, here we go. Let me pull this up. My Lord Jesus. Right. So here it is here from the Baltimore Banner. Real Housewives of Potomac stars have very low money, prosecutor alleges. Okay, so this came out today. A Carroll County prosecutor said investigators found 67 credit and debit cards in 4 different luxury wallets, including a Chanel one previously reported stolen. Wendy and Osefo, of the Real Housewives of Potomac fame, have actually have very little money. Prosecutor told Carroll County Circuit Court judge at a contentious hearing Friday today about the state's request to access the couple's personal and business financial records. The Osefos, who are accustomed to lying about a burglary at their Finksburg home last year, were in the Westminster courtroom in an effort to squash subpoenas for 8 years worth of their records, which their lawyers said were private confidential. Prosecutor Melissa Hawkinsmith argued that the state needs the records, most of which they've already received from the Osefos banks. The public has an interest in these crimes to make sure justice is done in this case. Judge Richard R. Titus said he was inclined to agree with the state and later ruled Friday afternoon in the state's favor to allow subpoenas to be issued. Osefo and her husband were charged in October with 7 counts of insurance fraud, 8 counts of conspiracy insurance fraud, and 1 count of making a false statement to a police officer after being indicted by a Carroll County grand jury. They are set to face trial in April 2026. The alleged burglary happened on April 7th, 2024. The couple said that thieves ransacked their bedroom and closet, stealing $450,000 worth of handbags and jewelry while the couple was on vacation in Jamaica. The W said that they determined numerous items the Osefo said were stolen had been returned to stores for refunds prior to the alleged burglary. The prosecutor wrote in court records, an investigation revealed that the Real Housewives couple were burned by substantial debt, prosecutors wrote. Okay, this is what the Baltimore Banner is saying. Last month, prosecutors claimed the Ofizos have approximately 40 credit and or debit cards, some of which are believed to be company names, and have, in other instances, used the aliases Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy in a deliberate attempt to mask their identity. Now, I will say this, right? If you are a public figure, I'm not surprised by using different names for packages and stuff, right? Because there are cuckoos out here, okay? So I totally get that. But 40 credit cards, debit cards. But here's the gag, you ready? Hawkinsmith amended the claims Friday, saying that investigators actually found 67 cards in 4 different luxury wallets, including a lambskin black quilted Chanel wallet that was previously stolen. Okay, let's see what this looks like, because I've never seen a wallet like that. Now, I have a very nice wallet my sister gave me for Christmas, but oh my god, this is what it looks like. Wow. Okay. But here it is, y'all. Now, they got different prices for them, okay? So if it's used from Fashion File, $620 up to $1,942, $3,300 for a wallet. $3,000 for one wallet. Up to that. Okay, y'all, listen. Must be nice. But defense attorneys for the Ofiso said some of the cards were expired or from joint accounts, and claimed that the prosecutor brought up the number of cards to embarrass the couple. Well, here's the thing, right? There's a difference between embarrassing a couple and reporting the facts, right? As I often say, is it shady if it's the truth, right? Is it shade if it's the truth? Because 40 credit and or debit cards was approximately, stated last month, and that wasn't to embarrass them. They had that many, so that's not trying to embarrass the couple at all. Wendy Orfizo's defense attorney, Jeremy Elridge, also attacked the allegations surrounding the pseudonyms and said the couple only used the names for orange packages. There's no evidence to say that the couple used the synonyms in banking records, adding that the state was making a nonsensical argument over the innocent and innocuous names. Are we supposed to take the word that defense? Hawkinsmith fired back. Now, listen, I don't know how cold it was, but and no disrespect to this town, but it's like, are no other cars in this town at all? I mean, it looks like they just closed down the street for them. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Wait, y'all can't even see it. Damn shame. Now y'all can see it. Okay, here we go. We're live. Anyway, this picture right here. Like I said, there are literally no other cars on this street, right? So let me go back here. Let me read this again. Right here, last month, prosecutors claimed the Ofizos have approximately 40 credit and or debit cards, some of which are believed to be company names, and have, in other instances, used the aliases Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy in a deliberate attempt to mask their identity. Hawkinsmith amended the claims Friday, saying that investigators actually found 67 cards in 4 different luxury wallets, including lambskin black quilted Chanel wallet that you guys just saw that was previously reported stolen. But defense attorneys for the Ofiso said some of the cards were expired or from joint accounts, and claimed that the prosecutor brought the number of cards to embarrass the couple. Like I said before, if they got that many cards, that's not embarrassing them, right? Wendy Orfizo's defense attorney, Jeremy Elridge, also attacked the allegations surrounding the pseudonyms and said the couple only used the names for orange packages. There is no evidence, he said, that the couple used the pseudonyms in banking record, adding that the state was making a nonsensical argument over the innocent and innocuous names. Are we supposed to take the word of the defense? Hawkinsmith fired back. And like I said, I don't know how cold it was, but you got furs on here. It looked like everybody was matching. Like Wendy was matching this attorney. I mean, he's in more of a gray outfit, but still, gray and black. They're kin to each other. And then these two are the tan brothers. Okay. All right. Elridge said the state should have filed subpoenas for the Ofiso's bank records previously, arguing that the request need to be better tailored to the specifics of the case. He called the subpoenas as they currently stand a fishing expedition. Oh, damn, not fishing expedition. Ulrich also said that there was no evidence that the Orfizos are in financial distress, insisting that the state, which already has a number of financial records for the couple, is trying to develop a motive. And Orfizos' lawyer Joseph Mora said prosecutors are seeking information that has no bearing on the outcome of the case. Murda addressed Hawkins-Smith directly, who had earlier compared the Orfizos' purchases to her own expenses, saying she had only ever spent around $300 on a handbag, in contrast to the $30,000 Hermes Birkin bags the couple owned. $30,000 for a Hermes Birkin bag. Let's see what Birkin bag looks like. $30,000 for what? Y'all, here it is right here. This don't make no damn sense. Right here. So there is one right there for $32,000. $32,000 pre-owned. This is Coran Crocodile Birkin 35 leather. This leather, rather, not leather, but leather. This one, $331,000 for one bag. I'm just like, no, whoever my future wife is, okay? Listen, you spend that much, we're giving away that much to charity, okay? We're gonna have some balance up in this household. $30,000 fucking dollars for one damn bag don't make no damn sense. And before any of the Housewives fans say, "Well, Braylon, just because you don't have it doesn't mean you got to rag on other people who do." It's $30,000 fucking dollars. Would you rather not have $30,000 in your bank account? Damn, just. Listen, if you worked hard for your money, this, that, and third, go forth and prosper. But also on the same token, don't complain on social media when your ass is broke because you want to spend more money on bags than diversify your bags to keep getting bags of money in your bank account, okay? That made no damn sense. The Orfizos murder said were not guilty of a crime, even though they live quite a life. They live a life quite different from the prosecutor. The couple, who sat quietly holding hands before the hearing began, did not speak during the proceedings. Ono Orfizo, known as Dr. Whitney to Bravo fans, is a television personality, political commentator, and a former Johns Hopkins University professor. She and her husband, who has a number of business ventures, including the grass company Happy Eddie, share 3 children. Orfizo is not the only cast member on the hit reality TV show. Who ran into trouble with the law recently. Karen Huger, who also made an appearance at Bravo, kind of served about 6 months in jail this year for a DUI. And Mia Fields-Thorin, who was on the reality television show for 4 seasons and departed last year, was arrested last month in Georgia, charged with larceny involving alleged furniture theft. So that is everything you need to know. Shout out to Ellie Wolf from the Baltimore Banner there for that. Now, of course, We Go Podcast was on the scene, so we are going to watch We Go Podcast. By the way, like, comment, subscribe to We Go Podcast. Here we go.
Hey, y'all. Happy Friday. What y'all doing? Me? I'm in the free world. Thank you, Jesus. In the words of Melissa Gorga, sitting in the Wawa parking lot. Why am I in the Walmart parking lot? You may ask, because I went to court cute, had on my little journalist turtleneck, my jeans. Now, when I first got to court, I had put on my heels to go walk across the parking lot. Child, I was high heels on my tippy. It was taking too long to get there. I doubled back, went to my car, put back on my sneakers and said, "You are a journalist. You got a job to do." So get there. Same place as it was before. Go up inside. Shout out to Chantel. Meet Chantel from Reddit. Y'all have probably seen her account on Reddit before. I forget her Reddit name, but when I do my video later, I'm going to make sure I have all her information tagged.
Hey,
and shout out to Pam,
in.
Paging Dr. Pam. She was there as well. We sit down. Y'all, your girl is free. You know why I said I'm free? I am free. Praise the Lord. I'm free. Wasn't held in contempt for taking a courtroom picture allegedly. My soul is resting. Y'all, so when I took that picture last time, allegedly, I didn't think, right? I wasn't thinking, because after I posted it, it was like a couple hours later, I was like, it hit me like, should you have posted that picture? Because I was in the courtroom, right? Needless to say, I did. What's done was done.
So We Go Podcast posted a picture of Eddie and Wendy from the courtroom.
So I already had an inkling. I'm telling, my body knows, the Holy Spirit be talking to me already. So when we got there, right, the judge gave a very nice but strongly worded admonishment to everybody. He said he didn't know if the individuals that took the picture, with bailiff standing right beside their bench when they took the picture, I don't know if they're here. And basically, he wasn't even going to look to see. Y'all, he knew they were there, because then he proceeds to say that there's cameras all over the courtroom. They're pointing right down in the rows that you're sitting in. Here's the funny part. Wendy, she was doing that, what she did before. She kept looking. So she looked back so many times. I looked up and went. And she went. And smiled. Child, when they was talking about the
one more time, I thought that was
took the picture. I don't know if they're here. And basically, he wasn't even going to look to see. Y'all, he knew they were there, because then he proceeds to say that there's cameras all over the courtroom. They're pointing right down in the rows that you're sitting in. Here's the funny part. Wendy, she was doing that, what she did before. She kept looking. So she looked back so many times. I looked up and went. And she went. And smiled. Child, when they was talking about the people taking the pictures in the courtroom, she looked back. What are you looking back here for? You came all fixed up. You just mad that I got the back of you and not the front. Anyway. Sorry, y'all, I got a call. Anyway, after that, after we did that, or what have you, he made a general announcement. Y'all, that went on for like 10 or 15 minutes. At first, I started getting like hot under my turtleneck. You know how like you get the embarrassment hot? And then I was like, whatever. I ain't embarrassed. I took one, all in the name of being a journalist. Child, would have had to call Olivia Pope. Can you get down to
not Olivia
Carroll County real quick? No, but for real. And when I first posted it before, I was thinking all courthouses are the same. Yes, some of them do have their federal rules or whatever. But when I was in Montgomery County at Karen's trial, everybody had their phones out. And shout out to Chantel, because Chantel, the one I met today, was the one that was live streaming from Reddit, and the judge said something to her. So I'm like, oh, we're sisters in arms.
Oh,
okay. We both got our lashes.
Courtroom.
But so I just assumed Carroll County was that way. Even after they made mention of the phones, I still just kind of assumed, because you have to have your phones off. But I was thinking Montgomery County, it was cool. So they're all different. And the judge even said that. He said the counties in Maryland are different, but this county, they do things different. And I get it. I respect it. Because like I said, I thought about it after I posted it. But you know, it is what it is. But shout out to the judge. Hey. Anyway, I'm going to do a longer video later, because I have a page full of notes. Y'all had to write by hand.
Imagine being able to
Y'all
build.
remember when you used to do that, right by hand with our notes? And by the way, shout out to We Go Podcast. I was on with We Go Podcast and Empire for one of their lives when we talked about surviving Carlos King, I think, and she seems like a great personality. And honestly, to tell you the truth, listen, whatever's going to happen to Wendy and Eddie, of course, we'll cover it, because we are watching The Real Housewives of Potomac. But in addition to that, have you not seen how many cases we've covered this year alone on this channel right here? So it's interesting, because law and pop culture, or pop law, is, connecting more and more and more and more. Shout out to the 3 people that are here. Like, I'm sure, subscribe, glad to have y'all here. Thank you for being here. Let's get back to it.
Build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Now I got to do hand exercises. But long story short, I'm going to sum it up, and then I'm going to go into detail. Today was a motion hearing. So what the prosecution wants access to a lot of bank records, a lot of financial information for the business stuff. Like they have something like S&B Consulting or something consulting. My apologies, I forget the exact name. And then Wendy's Onye, Home Essentials line. They want access to those financial records. They want it all. And the defense is saying you shouldn't be able to have all of it because there's no ties to that. They're saying that the prosecution is trying to play this out in the court of public opinion. And when it comes to selecting a jury for their trial, there's no jury of their peers in Carroll County. And it's funny because my girlfriend, who's a paralegal, who's going to be a lawyer, shout out to her, she has her own paralegal firm. She discussed that with me back when this came out. She was like, well, they'd be better off trying to move the trial because there's no jury of their peer here, meaning it's mostly a white county, right? Right. So the defense was referencing, he said basically he felt like the prosecution was following a certain rule about jury selection that could happen in a more urban county, his words, a more urban area.
Urban means black for the rest of y'all in the back.
Like Baltimore County, Baltimore City. But he didn't think that was going to happen here. Again, he feels like the prosecution trying to play it out. Court of public opinion is trying to embarrass the Osefos. Mm-hmm. He made mention of something that I talked about in one of my videos. Remember when the news first came out that Wendy and Eddie were using aliases? People automatically jumped to, oh, they're using them to get credit cards and loans. Right. When I read that in my mind, I said, if you read it, it's not saying that. It's throwing that in there amongst other things. Mm-hmm. So when you first read it, your immediate instinct is to think, oh, they're using false names, but that's not, they weren't saying that directly. Right. But I felt like they were trying to paint that narrative. And the defense attorney brought that up today. He said the prosecution is throwing out lines and phrases that aren't true. Mm-hmm. And so for instance, he brought up Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy. The fact that he was saying it in court was so funny. They were used for packages, to get packages delivered. Nowhere is it tied to fraud. Right. He also brought up, he said some of their personal finances, maybe, but they want the business finances. And he feels like it's just for the sake of embarrassing the Osefos. None of what they're saying ties to fraud. He said.
Now, I will say this, right? If they are trying to get the records, which it seems like they are, maybe they want to look at the personal and professional records alongside the purchases that they made and see if there's any discrepancies. That's the only thing I can think, right?
Said that they've been doing this case for 18 months and they just now are asking for discovery after being charged. And then the defense has only been able to see a little bit of the discovery of what the defense has of what the prosecution has so far. But in that discovery that they have been able to see, they say the prosecution has nothing. Right. Okay. So the prosecution then gets up and says, when you're looking at one statement or you're looking for one thing on an item, but let me get my book. I was going to save this, but let me just get my little book. Y'all, look, my husband gave me this because I almost walked out of the house without it. Shout out to him. She says that basically when you're looking, they were looking for one thing and then it led to another thing, which led to another thing,
rabbit hole,
which led to another thing. And that's why they need all of these records, because when they looked at some records, there were a lot of transfers from their business account to their personal account, from their business account to their personal account. So they feel like it could tie into that. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. When I was listening to defense, I was like, they got it. They got it. Child, the prosecution came in and was like, hold on. And I was like, at one point, me and Pam looked at each other and was like, Pam said, this is a lie. I said, it's a lie. Mm-hmm. It's wild how the law works. They're both stating the law, both sides, but depending on how it's presented and what argument is presented would have me like, y'all, I can imagine being a juror on this trial. Well, I can, listening to what has been proven, because a lot of the information they put out, it's almost like they're piecing it could piece together to be something, but then it could not be anything. I did notice in this hearing, again, I thought this was going to be the hearing where they laid out their stuff to get it dismissed or a plea or a trial, but it wasn't. It was specifically focused on getting, they call it quashed, getting these financial records quashed, nullified, or voided out, not to count. And they were leaning very, very, very heavily on that. So one of the things the prosecution said was basically like, the state can choose to get records at any time. And they have the public has an interest in this case of fraud. It could affect the public. Therefore, they have an obligation to get all the information that they can and make the public aware of it. Now, the defense is saying they want all of this. We want all the records that they're trying to get is so much that we have because there are actual trials in April, that we have a trial in April. There's no way we're going to be able to produce all this stuff, get all this stuff done. It's an unfair burden on the defense to try to have to go through all that. Child, the prosecution said, y'all have zero burden on producing records. We get into records, of which we've already got 40-some records. And the banks had no objection to us asking, because the judge asked, did the banks have an objection to you getting all these records? The prosecution said no. Y'all, I think they're going to be able to use the records.
I have to tell you, being able to watch other content creators is just pure joy, because I am you know how like there's like audio files that they listen to every note, beat, rhythmic sound in a track. I am a storytelling file, right? So when I'm listening for voice inflection, intonation, I'm listening to passion, I'm listening to everything. And so if you're that good where I can just sit back and watch, that's how I know you're good. Because the truest storytellers can be able to hold an audience regardless of what they're talking about. If you got to keep referencing back points. Now, here's the thing, right? It's a difference between referencing points to be able to guide a conversation along, but referencing back points because you're not seeing the engagement with your audience, right? So let's keep going with We Go Podcast. Here we go.
Because I don't want to go over everything with y'all just yet. I want to give y'all the basics. Also, remember how we found out that the Osefo allegedly tried to claim $450,000 worth of stuff. They only got paid out for the ring. The prosecution, it came out, they only got $25,000, she said, before the other insurance companies called on. All of this, y'all, and they only got the $25,000 that was verified.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
So
because originally it was supposed to be like $400,000. So after Wendy and Eddie went. So how can I put? Oh my God, I'm a rambling. Comes great. Just give me time. So even though Wendy and Eddie tried to go after, the insurance companies, or go to the insurance companies rather, for $400,000, all they got paid was $25,000. So from $400,000 to $25,000 is very, very, very sad. Let's keep going.
And I'm telling y'all this piece because of the prosecution's argument. They said during their search warrant, they found 4 wallets, 4 of which belong to a couple belong to Eddie. One of the wallets they made sure to say was a Chanel lambskin that was reported stolen, but they found it. And she made sure to say previously that the Osefos were specifically asked, had they replaced any of the stolen items? They said no. So then to go to their home when they did the search and find the wallet, they know that it's the wallet they reported as stolen because they said that they didn't replace any of them. Child. So they said they found in one wallet 9 debit and credit cards, in another wallet 15 debit credit cards, in another wallet 24 credit cards. They found a total of 67 credit, debit, and store cards. And I immediately thought they could be expired. They could be old. There are some cards that I need to get rid of that I no longer use or no longer are active or any of that. So it could be that. But again, that goes back to, I feel like what the defense said. You're throwing this out there because they also said the Osefos' finances are bad. They said, I'm trying to get the exact wording that she used. she said,
Yeah, someone went to Best Buy.
She's working.
Making a holiday video?
Yep, with my new MacBook Air.
the Osefos, wait, I'm trying to get the exact words, y'all, because I was like, oh my gosh. Basically, she said that Finefos are in a bad financial place. They don't have any money. And they live the Osefos have very little money despite their public images. So then the defense was like, the prosecution just proved what we've been saying. They're throwing out statements and wanting access to their bank accounts to embarrass the Osefos publicly. There's no proof. He said there's no proof that the Osefos' finances are bad. There's no proof that they're in a bad financial state. And then the prosecution threw out, my most expensive bag is $350. We're talking about her bags. They're like $8,000. And the defense was like, there was no need to say that. Like the prosecution is basically, you're saying that to get a reaction from the public and in front of the media, because there was ABC News there, Baltimore Sun was there, we were there, me, Pam, and Chantel were there. So we all have blogs and YouTubes and, podcasts. So he said that they're throwing out these phrases to create a narrative. And so the judge said, and the defense and the prosecution both cited other cases that that the judge could reference, for their sides, I guess, to be heard, because, they both want to win. And the judge said, two of his cases were canceled today or something. One of his long hearings was canceled today. So he has nothing but time. He's going to read the cases that the defense and the prosecution decided, but he's inclined to side with the state. So the financial records might be allowed. Y'all, they talking about 8 to 10 years worth of financial records. They are going through everything, every transaction, everything. I'll get more into it when I'm gonna touch a little bit more on it, because there is more that they got into, but I just wanted to come to that and give that to y'all fresh. And I did take a picture and post it of Eddie and Wendy at the press conference. And then shout out to another woman that was there. I videoed some of the press conference. She got a better video, and I'm going to have all of her information. I'm going to show the video in my longer form video that I do. Shout out to her and give her name, because she airdropped it to me, because her was better than mine. Shout out to her, that I don't have her name off the top of my head. I'm afraid of dogs, but she had a beautiful service dog named Griffin. So shout out to her. So I will be sharing her information. She uploaded it. She was in Carroll County. She lived there, and she was like, oh my gosh, this a housewife, what? So she came. But yeah, so.
And that comment there goes to show you, not everybody knows about, Bravo. Because that's the thing too, right? Like I said before, there's a difference between viewers and consumers. Viewers, they watch the show Sunday nights, 8/7 Central, Bravo. Consumers, they want to consume everything. But then there's just the people that are just regular, schmegular observers, right? So 3 different audiences.
That's what today's hearing was about. Their next hearing is in January, and remember how they were going to be tried together, then they weren't going to be tried together, then their last hearing, they wanted to be tried together. Well, at their next status hearing, they will go over whether or not they're actually going to be tried together. I said, is all this postponements? Because their actual trial is in April, but so what we're doing now is having status hearings, and the actual trial is in April. So I just wanted to come to y'all with that. Your girl's free, about to get to work. Like I said, I changed out of my cute little court stuff, put on my gym stuff. That's what I do, of service to the people. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. See ya.
Beautiful, beautiful smile.
POV, this unboxing is sponsored
by. Shout out to the one and only We Go Podcast. So a couple of tweets here from We Go Podcast. Here we go. Baby, some bullet points. Prosecution says the Fezos are in financial distress. Talked about the cost of Wendy Chanel bag and says there was motive. Defense says prosecution is trying to embarrass the Osefos and hinted to race being at play. We are back in court, folks. Just smiled and waved at Wendy. She is gorgeous as ever. And then these tweets here. Prosecution says they have receipts of items purchased in 2010 and returned, but then claimed as stolen. They only went back to the year 2018 because they felt the bank may not be able to provide them records for anything before 2018. Defense wants the court to quash, nullify / void the subpoena for the business financial records. They say it has no bearing on the outcome of the case. The alias Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy have no ties to anything fraudulent. It was strictly for them to receive packages. Today's motion hearing was the defense wanted the judge to not allow the business financial subpoenas. Prosecution and the defense both presented their argument. The judge will decide later this afternoon. The Osefos will be back in court on January 21st. The judge will render his decision later on today regarding quashing some of the financial subpoenas as the state once included. He said he is inclined to agree with the state, but will read cases that were decided by the defense and the prosecution before making his decision. Now, of course, we go over to Reddit here. Of course, Reddit, Bravo Housewives here. What a day. I attended Wendy and Eddie Osefos hearing this morning. The hearing concerned a motion to quash subpoenas seeking the Osefos business bank records from 10 different financial institutions covering a period of approximately 8 years. The prosecution argued they have evidence of the Osefos acquiring items they claim were stolen going back to 2010 and asserted that there is a pattern of purchasing luxury goods and then returning them. As part of that argument, they refer to the existence of 67 credit, debit, and store credit cards found in the residence. The prosecution also stated that Osefos received approximately $25,000 before other insurance companies were notified of multiple claims. The defense pushed back, arguing that this was an attempt to embarrass the Osefos and portray them as being in financial distress in order to manufacture motive. Defense counsel also argued the state failed to show any nexus between the business accounts and the alleged fraud. Additionally, the defense stated that there's no evidence that pseudonyms were used in any financial transactions, though they acknowledged pseudonyms were used for package deliveries at the home. Both sides cited case law in support of their respective positions. The judge stated he would review the rulings presented before issuing a decision on the motion to quash. A ruling was expected today if it has not already been issued. The trial is currently scheduled for April 2016, but January 21st is the next check-in hearing, right? As we just heard the WeGo podcast there. The judge spent the first portion of the portion of the hearing, emphasized that phones, recordings, or photographs in the courtroom would result in contempt of court charges. Now, of course, Millie Chun TV, the gorgeous, stunning, and gifted Millie Chun is also on this too, so let's watch her.
Hey, y'all, it's your girl, Millie Chun. We have an update from the Osefos by way of WeGo podcast. Shout out to her. I'm gonna go over these tweets and let's see what's happening in the courthouse. Let's go. She said that we are back at the courthouse. This is Wendy outside talking to ABC News, and Wendy looks gorgeous as ever. So, baby, she came with some bullet points. Shout out to WeGo Podcast. She said that the prosecution says the Osefos are in financial distress. They talked about the cost of Wendy's Chanel bag and said that that was motive for them to do what they did. Defense says the prosecution is trying to embarrass the Osefos and hinted to race being at play. Okay? So the defense wants to squash everything, right? Make it all null and void. The subpoena of the businesses, financial records. They say it has no bearing on the outcome of the case. Now, the aliases Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy, they said that it's strictly for them to receive packages. Nothing else, nothing fraudulent, anything like that. But does the Amazon man know who Wendy Osefo is? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you would know who Beyonce is, but would you know who Wendy Osefo is? So then
I get what Millie John is saying. I'm only laughing because of how Millie John executed that, because it can sound a little shady, but I get what she means, right? Like, unless you were delivering to Pam Oliver on a regular schmegular basis, and you're like, oh, wait, Pam Oliver, Eddie Hennessy, and you never see them, right? Because they're like, oh, you can just leave that outside the door, which if they have a ring cam, which I believe they do, most homes and apartments have ring cameras, you will be able to hear the voice. But I get what she means of, the relevance to just an everyday person. So let's keep going.
We get into Wendy and them returning stuff, right? Prosecution says they have receipts of items purchased in 2010 and returned, but then claimed as stolen. They only went back to the year 2018 because they felt the bank may not be able to provide them records of anything before 2018. They got the receipts. Now, at this time, about an hour ago, she said the judge will render his decision later on today regarding squashing some of the financial subpoenas the state wants included. He said he is inclined to agree with the state, but he will read cases that were cited by the defense and the prosecution before making his decision. So that would work well for them if he decides to, let some of those things go, right? This is also bad. So We Go podcast goes on to say that today's motion hearing was the defense wanting the judge to not allow the business financial subpoenas, okay? The prosecution and defense both presented their argument. The judge will decide later this afternoon. The Osefos will be back in court on January the 21st. So we're going to go on. We're going to have a good Christmas, as good as we can, and get ready for next year. So We Go podcast said that she's going to go in depth on her YouTube page later. But she also said that she was so confused and back and forth. She said when she was listening to the prosecution, she was like, oh, they got it. And then when she was listening to the defense, they got it, right? This is all so bad. But look at Wendy and Eddie. Who is really running this train? Who do y'all think is on top of this? I'll be back later with whatever she has to talk about, what the judge decides. I may be out in the streets, but I'll be back. It's your girl, Millie Chun. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Quick, what's your favorite
I
thing
swear
to do?
we're going to see Millie Chun on late night TV or daytime. Either way, that signature. It's your girl, Millie Chun. I'll talk to you later. Bye. As always, till we meet again, friend. I really love that about. All right, y'all. So, as we are live, Kempire has breaking news.
Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo lost the battle in court today. The judge is forcing her to turn over financial records that the prosecutors were asking for. Wendy and her husband, Eddie Osefo, were in court today for a motion hearing. They were trying not to have some of their many years of financial bank records and credit card records turned over to the prosecution in their case against them for insurance fraud. So according to Fox Baltimore, they said a Carroll County judge ruled Friday that the Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo and her husband, Edward, must turn over their financial information to authorities. The Osefos, who live in Finksburg, face 16 charges, including 7 felony counts connected to what investigators describe as a scheme involving false and misleading information in an insurance fraud case. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office alleges that the couple lied about a burglary at their home in order to defraud insurance companies of more than $400,000. They never received the $400,000. They only received about $25,000, and that was for their claim of a wedding band that was missing. Prosecutors say that the financial records would help prove the alleged fraud and show a pattern of excessive spending by the Osefos to corroborate a motive. During the hearing Friday, defense attorneys called the release of the records an annoyance, overboard, and superfluous. Attorney Joe...
Wait a minute, superfluous? Over bank records? For a potential crime somebody commit? It's superfluous? To gather information? Oh my Lord, Jesus. Okay then. Well, all right. Keep going, Kim.
Joseph Murtha said that the prosecution's attempt to secure more than 8 years of financial information spread across 40 credit cards and debit cards, a fishing expedition that has no bearing on the outcome of the case. And in the update from the prosecution, it actually was more than 60-something credit cards. So the prosecution emphasized today during today's hearing that the couple, quote, have very little money. And they say that that's the motive behind this insurance fraud. According to the Baltimore Banner, last month, prosecutors claimed that the Osefos had approximately 40 credit cards and or debit cards, some of which are believed to be in companies' names, and have in other instances used aliases like Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy in a deliberate attempt to mask their identity. The prosecution amended the claims Friday, stating that the investigators actually found 67 credit cards in 4 different luxury wallets, including a lambskin black quilted Chanel wallet that was previously reported stolen. But defense attorneys for the Osefo said that some of the cards were expired or from joint accounts, and claimed that the prosecutor brought up the number of cards to embarrass the couple. Defense also claimed that there's no evidence, he said, that the couple used pseudonyms in banking records, according to the state that was making nonsensical argument over the innocent and innocuous names. The prosecution responded and says, are we supposed to take the word of the defense? Osefos go to trial in April of 2026.
So that is breaking news from Kempire here. As Nene said, you never win when you play dirty. This is about to be so embarrassing for them. I really want Wendy to come back next season, but if she does, they are going to drag her. Eddie Hennessy took me out. Me too, child. Me too. 60 charges, 7 felony counts. I know they got to be afraid. My goodness, so sad. Like I said, they should start a new show, Housewives and Handcuffs for Freaks and Felons. Why y'all do this in the comment section? Go forth and prosper, though. I'm here for it, of course. 16th person like that comment. Me. Let's see here. 40 credit cards allegedly. Wow, let's see where this goes. Wow, this is serious. I figured that was going to happen. You're in America, Jack. The insurance industry is the biggest nightmare. This is going to get even crazier. I have a feeling their bank records are wild. How wild can they be? So this whip and this leather dominatrix outfit, when did you purchase this? Listen, I want to know what very little money is, bitch. Hey, I'm sure they have a whole lot that actually is not looking great. This isn't all Wendy's fault. Eddie is just as deep. I know his mother is on the line. Tell him what mistake he made daily. Damn. Oh my, I wonder if they will appeal the judge's ruling, seek to have the documents provided under seal for protection and camera review only, or seek camera redactions for any trial exhibits 8 years back is pretty far given the charges at issue. They're building their case. The FSOs need to position themselves. Why do you need that many credit cards? They should just file for bankruptcy. Lord, her mama must be praying up a storm at her altar. We don't need to go back to the altar. We don't. Baby, hey, this has got to be a devastating ruling. 46 credit cards. My God, I see what they're trying to do, but no, baby, that type of thing don't work. What does that have to do with the insurance fraud? Do they have a case or not? I feel like they're changing the conversation and going on fishing expedition. They don't need this to prosecute insurance fraud. We see there's a motive, there's evidence, their evidence rather is sounding shaky if they're still looking for info 18 months later. So I'm praying for them both. Wendy is so arrogant, she thinks she's smarter than the insurance company. Their Fizos are about to be a embarrassing example for everybody to see. Did PK and Dorrit get away with insurance fraud? You know they were robbed like 3 times while on Bravo. He needed the money to pay off a big debt in Vegas. Girl, for a sham. They're going to jail. Why? Y'all, why? Why would they do this? They had so many different ways. While it's not looking good for Eddie 6'7". This is so ugly. They should have known better. Can't be like this and think you're never going to get caught. I like this couple, but this flex ain't it. They messed up and got caught. They're not the only ones. The fact that some folks are so giddy is weird as fuck. So that is the latest from Kempire and his comment section on this story. Like I said, y'all, this is going to be quite interesting. Like I said, in addition to that, the cameras are still following Real Housewives of Potomac. I think this coming weekend is going to be Angel and Bobby in Colorado. So we shall see. I know Angel is watching. And I know she has a lot to say. I'm like, oh, you said I was evicted. Did you see yourself in court? So I can only imagine what they are going to be saying in the season to come, but also to what they're already saying in Potomac. So yeah, a lot going on here. So we're going to take just a little bit of a commercial break so I can get my child out together. Sorry, y'all. My eye is fine. It's just sometimes stuff gets in your eyes, right? It's all good. The name of it, though. Okay. Ooh, Jesus. Some people in the building, thank y'all so much for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been refreshing We Go podcast to see if she has the video out, and so far I'm not seeing anything as of right now. It's just the quick courtroom recap that I played for you all, but nothing new. But yes, it is. So yep, and by the way, that breaking news with Kim Power broke 40 minutes ago. So let me see if anything else is popping up about Wendy and Eddie while we're here. Let's see. Okay, so here's something here. All right, so here is this. It's a Dog's Life 18. It's a Dog's Life 8104. Shout out to you. Here is this hero.
There are some of the misinformation that's been put out by the state attorney's office regarding the investigation into this case, regarding the lack of investigation into the burglary where they were both victimized. So this was an opportunity for the Osefo family to put out their side of the story to some degree and allow members of the public to know that there's a much broader story here. We look forward to our next court appearances. We look forward to clearing up a lot of this information that's been conveyed by the state, and we look forward to going to trial.
And Olivia, if you don't mind, if I can ask you guys, if you have any direct reactions to
the family.
So there is that there. Both looking beautiful. Eddie and Wendy there. Trying to see if there's anything else here with this. Let's see there. Oh wait, man, hang on. This is new. Hang on one second. I'm sorry. Oh, that's an old clip. Woo. Ooh, sorry, y'all. My eye is. Ooh, sorry. Sorry. Trying to see if anything else is uploaded right now. Let's see here. No, nothing else really new right now. I mean, I see I'm live right now, but besides that, not too much else going on. Oh, wait a minute. Here is. It's a Dog's Life. Here's that video. Oh, she only got 2 subscribers and 70 views. Wow. Okay, let's watch this here. Let me go back. I'm so sorry, y'all. Thought y'all were able to hear that. Here we go. Okay.
Good morning from rainy but beautiful Carroll County, Maryland, where the Osefos showed up today with 2 lawyers and what appeared to be a paralegal. Wendy looked beautiful in a black and white kind of jumper with heels, and Eddie was wearing like a gray suit. They both looked wonderful, but Wendy looked pretty skinny. So I don't know if all this stress is getting to her, but she definitely looked very thin. So in the courtroom, there were less than 15 people in there, which I was very surprised about. And one case was called before theirs. When their case began, the judge, though, was very unhappy that at the last proceeding, someone took a picture in the courtroom, which is definitely against the law in Maryland. You're not allowed to record or take any kind of photography in the courtroom. So he said if it happened again, he would have to put that person in contempt of court and, do more proceedings against them. So he was very strict about that and very strong about that. Mr. Eldridge went first for the Osefo's attorney with his motion to quash. He was saying that he thought it was overly broad and burdensome for them to get that many years of bank records from all of them.
Y'all, I just got a update here live. Okay, live. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. So they are going live tonight on Instagram to discuss Wendy and Osefo's motion hearing. So that's like right now. So let's go to Kim Pyre live on Instagram. bring this to you all here. So here's that update here. So soon as she goes live with Empire, I'll bring it to you all live. So very active night tonight for sure. So wanted to bring that to you all. Yes, indeed. And actually, let me see something. I'll do this. And like I said, by the way, I want to give a shout out real quick before We Go podcast goes live. I want to give a shout out to these two content creators right here. It's a Dog's Life, and she's a brand new content creator here. Shout out to her. 2 subscribers, 10 views. So shout out to her right here. And then of course, paging Dr. Pam right here. It looks like she's a content creator as well. 276 subscribers. So like, comment, share, subscribe to both. Actually, I'm subscribed to both. I remember the early days of trying to get to where you're going in life. So anytime we can support people trying to do good, why not do that? So just indeed. So yes, indeed. So she literally put out that notification right here about 6 minutes ago. Right here tonight. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific on Instagram. So right there, Campfire. So we're just waiting for them to go live. So let's go back to this here.
Jumper with heels.
So they go live. We'll be playing.
And Eddie was wearing like a gray suit. They both looked wonderful, but Wendy looked pretty skinny. So I don't know if all this stress is getting to her, but she definitely looked very thin. So in the courtroom, there were less than 15 people in there, which I was very surprised about. And one case was called before theirs. When their case began, the judge, though, was very unhappy that at the last proceeding, someone took a picture in the courtroom, which is definitely against the law in Maryland. You're not allowed to record or take any kind of photography in the courtroom. So he said if it happened again, he would have to put that person in contempt of court and, do more proceedings against them. So he was very strict about that and very strong about that. Mr. Eldridge went first for the Osefo's attorney with his motion to quash. He was saying that he thought it was overly broad and burdensome for them to get that many years of bank records from all of their banks. And that they were just doing it to make the Osefos look bad. The state got up and said that was not the case at all, and that the banks had no problem supplying all that information to them, and they didn't object to it whatsoever. They also dropped a bombshell that said that they recovered 4 wallets that had 67 credit cards in it, which is insane. But I guess you could have duplicate cards, and I guess, you could have expired cards in there, but that doesn't really make sense. And then the defense got up and said that they were just trying to make the Osefos look bad and make it look like they were in financial troubles and all that kind of thing. And at the end, the judge ended up saying that he thought that he was not going to grant the motion to quash, and that he would rule in writing later on today. The next hearing is going to be on January 21st, so I hope to update you all then. Here is a slight press brief that they did at the end.
clear up some of the misinformation that's been put out by the state's attorney's office regarding the investigation into this case, regarding the lack of investigation into the burglary where they were both victimized. So this is an opportunity for the Osefo family to put out their side of the story to some degree and allow members of the public to know that there's a much broader story here. We look forward to our next court appearances. We look forward to clearing up a lot of this information.
Believe me, I'm refreshing it just to see if they're live, y'all.
And let me add, if you mind if I can ask you guys if you have any direct reactions to some of the charges or the things that were said in court today, specifically the 67 credit cards.
At this point, the Osefos aren't going to provide any statements as individuals. Obviously, for counsel, we're going to wait for the judge to render an opinion. We're going to continue to sift through the evidence. And as you heard in court today, even the state acknowledged that
I believe that person is either recording or live streaming.
So obviously, this case is a matter of investigate after charging, and we're going to wait for exactly.
Okay, and speaking
exculpate the Osefo. Some of the records they're seeking could be.
There we go. Let me go back.
Specifically, the 67 credit cards.
At this point, the Osefos aren't going to provide any statements as individuals. Obviously, through counsel, we're going to wait for the judge to render an opinion. We're going to continue to sift through the evidence. And as you heard in court today, even the state acknowledged that some of the records they're seeking could be records that exculpate the Osefos. So obviously, this case is a matter of investigate after charging, and we're going to wait for exactly.
Okay, and speaking of some of the things that we saw, what is your response to the prosecutors claiming that they are suspicious that a burglary ever happened?
I don't have a comment regarding this case. I think the Osefos are very clear that they've been victimized. They've reported the burglary in a timely fashion. And this case has been charged first and investigated later, as you heard.
Okay, we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live, everybody.
Be joining me. I will try and upload this on the YouTube, because I know some of you do not follow me on IG. Some of you do not have IG, which is fine. But we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, including this Wendy Osefo situation. We have an update in regards to that. So I'm going to give you that update as well. If you're here on a Friday night, fantastic. If you're not, it's okay too. All right, let me bring. Hey, everyone. Let me know where you guys are. Not in Fraudo. Really?
Fraudo. Oh, my God, child.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Let me just fix myself in the camera here so you guys can see me. Can you see me now?
I can see you.
All right. I'm using a different device than I normally use, so that's why. Perfect. Perfect. How are you doing? Thank you so much for doing this. Our inside reporter from What Else Is Going On podcast, Taria Faison. That's a long title, Taria.
I know. I love it. I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course. I sent you a text, but you already kind of knew that I was going to be like, okay, when can you come on to give us an update from the case?
Yes. If you didn't, I would have sent you a strongly worded text wondering where was my
strongly worded. Oh my.
She did tell me that. She did tell me that, which is fine.
That's
it's just please forgive my mind because you know I'm doing so many other things.
I know, friend. I got you. I know, but I would given you like 27 hours. And then
it would have been less. It would have been less than that because I almost completely forgot about them going for. I think you almost forgot too.
Yes.
Because the 19th just snuck up on us.
It was like we were just there. Oh, we were just there, but we were just there.
Can you tell people a little, just briefly, about your first experience? Because that's when you found out that there was going to be this December 19th hearing.
Yes. So the first trial we went, it was a motions hearing. They wanted to, well, let me go back. Remember when they were first charged, they were charged as co-defendants. Then they filed to be charged separately. The last hearing we went to, they decided to file a motion to be charged together. So that's what that was about. It was just them being able to file together, which is interesting because in this hearing at the end on January 21st, we will find out if they are in fact being tried together because that's still
also we don't know.
We don't know. And
I think the likelihood is that they will be on trial together.
Yeah,
I think so.
I was saying that from the jump.
I think it would make sense. It was interesting because their separate lawyers are from the same firm. So like you have the younger lawyer was Wendy's and the older, I don't know if that was the father or whoever was Eddie's. The Wendy's lawyer spoke for most of it, but the other lawyer did step in and speak as well.
Mm.
Wendy had on a bust down this time. Y'all saw
Well, I think it's important for us to talk about what happened during the last one, because you took a photo inside the courtroom, the backside of Wendy and Eddie, which went viral everywhere. And I mean, I told you should have put your watermark on it. I'm glad you didn't, because it would have been even worse for you.
Y'all, let me tell
because the judge had a little bit of something to say today about that.
He did. I thought I was going to need Olivia Pope to come on down to Carroll County. The judge is, I said before to you that I felt the judge was personable and was nice, right? He definitely was. So he said, before they start, I would like to make an announcement. I would rather give a warning than have to take action afterwards. Ooh, I'm sorry, I'm just shuddering at the fact that I'm free right now. He says, the last time they were here, there was a picture taken in this very courtroom. The individuals that took the picture with bailiffs, 2 bailiffs standing right next to their bench, and that is not allowed. And he did go into saying how every county is different, because when I went to Karen's trial, it was like you could have been hanging upside down taking notes with your phone up. It was cool.
Which is interesting that we didn't see a lot of footage from Karen's trial.
Well, shout out to Chantel from Purple Panda, I believe, on Reddit. I'm going to get her exact name. When I got to Karen's trial, someone was being admonished for live streaming it to Reddit, and it was her. And she was there today. So I said, we both got our lashings from the judge. The judge used he said, I don't know who these individuals are. I'm sure he knew. Carroll County is not full of chocolate.
There wasn't many of you.
The only chocolate drops he knew it was a chocolate drop, and the only chocolate drops in the courtroom was us and Wendy and Eddie, both times. So he said, I'm not sure of the individuals, but I just want to let you know there are cameras pointing down from the ceiling directly into the seats you are sitting in. Again, I'm not going to put those individuals in contempt. I don't know if they're in the courtroom. I'm not even going to see. I just want to make the warning. And at first, you know, like when you start a feeling of embarrassment, it started like from my midsection and started coming up, like my neck. And then I said, no, I did it for journalism. I took one for the team, as you and I discussed earlier. It was a lesson to make sure that I know where I am and what's allowed where, make sure I'm following protocol. And then the embarrassment went away. But I will tell you this. The last time I was here, I told you guys, Wendy repeatedly looked over her shoulder to see he was coming. She did the same this time. The third time, I got tired of her looking. So when she looked, I said, and she went like this. She goes, so like, she goes.
Now she looked you up and down.
She said,
For those that might be listening to the podcast version of this, Taria smiled and waved at Wendy, and then Wendy smiled and looked her up and down.
Kind of like,
I feel, what was your perspective on her looking around the courtroom, and why there was more press this time around than the last time?
There was press this time around than last time, because that picture went viral. You're welcome, press.
Oh, I didn't think about that part.
I said, you're welcome. As soon as I pulled up and saw the cameras, I was like, oh, because y'all wasn't even finna cover this story before. But now you're going to cover it. I remember there being discussions on, was there a person that put this together, Eddie or Wendy? Based on the body language and then seeing them outside the courtroom standing behind their lawyers. I sent you the video while they're talking to ABC News. Wendy is vamping to me, her face. I almost felt, and Wendy is just, and Eddie to me is just like not looking anywhere. I almost felt like Eddie was like, Wendy was like the madam, like, did you put this together? Her
not the madam.
I don't know if she's not taking it serious. I believe there is a part of her that is enjoying this attention. I truly
outside the court.
Yes,
I have the video. I want to see if I can share it with the video with you guys. Yeah. Let me see if this works.
Corey tried to up the audio so you could hear it, but he there was no way he could. But I want y'all to see this video and to see concentrate on Wendy's face in this video.
Hold on. Can y'all see the video on my screen?
We can see it, but we don't see the top of their heads. We only see like
Hold on.
We see from the neck down.
I'm using a new device, so that might be part of the reason. All right, let me go back to here. Let me go here. All right, so I probably won't be able to show you the video, guys, but it's okay.
What did you think?
Well, here's the thing, and I was saying this before on TikTok. I was live on TikTok, and her facial expression to me was sort of like she's smiling a little too much. And when you watch the video, and I showed the video earlier today on my YouTube, she's smiling a lot, but she's not smiling at the camera. She's smiling at all of you that were behind the reporter.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you guys, for those that didn't know, she spoke to ABC News. Well, she didn't speak to ABC News. Her attorney spoke to ABC News, and she was standing behind him along with Eddie. And she was smiling at you guys.
Yes. And that's what she was doing when she was in the courtroom, turning around.
How many people were there, though? Like, paint the picture for us. Like, you have ABC News in front of you guys.
So when I walked in up front, I saw ABC News. I was like, oh, okay. Shout out to Chantel again, who is also a YouTuber and a blogger, and Pam, who was there last time, paging Dr. Pam. So we go upstairs. We go upstairs, and I knew more people must have been coming because the courtroom is small. So you walk up the steps. As I'm walking up this, as I get up to the top of the steps, I'm looking at the board. I hear the gentleman that's wanding people down say, as people are coming in, oh, you must be here for the Osefo case, I assume. Ooh. Yeah. So that's when I knew more people are coming behind me. So outside of me, Pam, and Chantel, there was ABC News. There was the Baltimore Banner.
Yes.
I'm mistaken, it said Baltimore Sun. Yeah, Baltimore Banner. And there were others. I wasn't sure exactly where they were from because there was a lady that looked like she worked in the building. And you can see in the video that I sent you, if you go back and watch, you can see her coming like she was running down the courtroom steps to get in front of Wendy and Eddie right next to ABC News. Oh. But I wasn't sure if she worked. It looked like she worked at the courtroom. So there was much more attention to Wendy this time around. That is a good point of you saying, yes, see, that it was just very much, I'm here.
That smirk on her face.
Yes. And
why was she wearing her Chanel bag?
Because I think they have it. I think it's been seized.
Well, no. Okay, other one, because that was one of the. Okay, let's just talk about what happened in the hearing. For those that are just joining us, I'm here with Therese Paisan from the What Else Is Going On podcast. She's covered a few of these Potomac ladies. You were at the Karen trial when she was sentenced. And then, of course, you were at the last hearing. The trial, we found out today, will happen April of next year, April 2026. That's right around the corner. It's only 4 months away.
Yes.
And today was a very important hearing in regards to their financial records. And by the time you left, there was no answer in regards to that, but we do have an update. But before we get to the update in regards to that, make sure you guys are following Taria. If you're not following me, of course, follow me. There's 200 and something of you guys here for this update tonight, so thank you. Some of you followed me over from TikTok, thank you. Paint the picture for us. Get into court. And how long was court today in comparison to the last time you were there?
Hey,
about an hour. It was supposed to start at 8:45, started at 9. We got at about maybe 10:10. It was definitely much longer.
Empire We Go podcast.
So when you get in, of course, you see Eddie and Wendy, and you see they have all of their attorneys
Eddie
with them.
And Wendy.
You see the prosecution. This time, when I went last time, they called a couple of cases before Wendy's. This time, I knew Wendy's was going to be quick because when I looked at the docket last night, there were so many cases. But I knew Wendy's was going to be quick because, I pay attention. I saw her lawyer walk up front and then walk back to Eddie and Wendy and said, the judge is going to call a case and then he's going to get you up so we can get it rolling. So I was like, okay, great. So I knew that was happening.
Not special treatment for the public figures.
It was definitely, it felt like, what is it called? When you're surreal. It felt like surreal, like listening to this. And I will say this, for the jurors that are going to be selected, they are going to have to really pay attention to facts. Because as I would listen to the defense speak, and I would be like, oh, I see what they're saying.
Case closed.
Case closed. Listen to the prosecution. Case is reopened twice. Like, they've got some stuff. The interesting thing, what stood out to me was that we are not arguing whether they did this. We're not arguing that they submitted receipts for items that they had already returned. I posted that the prosecution came out and said, we have items dating back to 2010 that they returned, but they just started at 2018. They didn't want the bank to have to get all of those records. So items from 2010 were being reported as stolen. So to me, when you really listen, it's the defense is arguing, hey, the state is trying this in the court of public opinion, and they're trying to paint a narrative about Wendy. And the state is saying this creates motive. We want all this information because this creates motive. But it's interesting that no one is arguing, hey, we have evidence that they didn't do it. Because they have evidence to me that they did do it.
And today was about getting more evidence from their bank and credit card statements.
Yes, and that was really interesting. So it was the motions hearing today to get the, I'm learning new words, to get the items quashed, which means null and void. I'm going to be using that word from now on. So the quash, we need to be quashed. What the defense was saying was the prosecution wants 8 to 10 years worth of bank records. That's going to put an undue burden on the defense when they have a hearing 4 months, when they have a trial 4 months away. That's not really fair to them. The prosecution volleyed back and said, there's no burden for you. We're the ones getting the records. We've gotten the records, about 40 records. And then the judge says, did the banks have issues with you getting the objections? And she said no. So I knew, I was like, that's a point in their favor. Also, I want to bring up the defense. Right before they got into that, he led with, evidently when it comes to jury selection, there's a rule or some type of rule that they follow to select the jury. Well, he said in Eddie and Wendy's case, their constitutional rights would not be enforced because you're supposed to have a jury of your peers. And in Carroll County, it's not, he said it's not, his words were, it's not urban, like Baltimore County and Baltimore City.
Wait, who said it was not urban?
The defense.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to pivot real quickly to after this was over, because I feel like this provides a lot of context for people who are watching and how we talk about how Carroll County is white. So he mentions that, right? He makes race a factor. After it was over, there was a woman that was inside as well, blonde hair, blue-eyed, older woman. She had a service animal. She comes over, she says, oh my God, I live in Carroll County. And when I found out Wendy, the housewife, and I watch her, I had to come. But I'm really sad that he brought up race. I was, she was sad, and she was like, I can't believe this, that he would bring up race, because I've never experienced that. Me, I could feel it coming from my feet. And because I had so much energy, I wrapped my arms around my notebook, because I was like, Taria, just be quiet. And she says, yeah, I just really sad. I've never experienced that. So someone that was there with me, shout out to Pam, she said, well, I can say this, I've never felt unsafe. And then the lady jumps on that and says, yes, see? And I had to speak. So I said, my cousin was married to a white woman. They have 2 biracial daughters. He's had issues. She said, oh, really? And I said, not to mention, you wouldn't experience it. You're white. And she said, you're so right. You are so right. I was trying to, and she's going, I was trying to watch my words and say the right thing. I said, I'm not expecting you to understand, because again, you would not experience it because you are white. And she said, you know what? You're absolutely right. Fortunately, but not fortunately, I don't worry about going into a store wondering what people think about me because I'm white. I said, and then we moved along. So that's the attitude. We love each other here. Because she said, there's Indians in my neighborhood, there's Black people. We're everywhere. That doesn't mean that there's not racism there. So she was very taken aback by the defense bringing in race into it.
Which is valid. It's a valid argument.
Yes. And again, and my girlfriend who had the paralegal firm, she's actually studying for the bar now. In the very beginning, she said Wendy and Eddie would be better trying to get it moved, because they're not going to get a jury of their peers in Carroll County. And I hadn't thought about that.
Have they made a motion to move it?
Not that I've seen. No, not from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So then they talk about the financials, and it was really funny to hear the lawyer mention Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy in the courtroom. And he says, the defense is, the prosecution is just throwing statements out to, so the media will pick it up. They're trying to paint a picture. There is no, Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy are in no way tied to fraud. They use that to get packages sent to their home. That's it. That is all. Also, they alleged there was Wendy and PayPal. How Wendy said she never used PayPal. And he was trying to say PayPal is something totally separate, has nothing to do with anything. Right. And then the prosecutor came back and said it's actually tied to the banks.
And you saw this week that PayPal just recently said that they moved forward to become a bank.
Yes. Yes.
No, I did. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just saying. I don't know if it's relevant, but it should be noted.
Yes. Okay, that's interesting. The defense says the state has been investigating 18 months. They're just now asking for subpoenas. And the discovery that they have is very little. And from what the defense has seen, there's nothing nefarious. There's nothing in the discovery that proves anything. So the Osefos are not getting their due process rights. I was like, okay, he was very passionate about that. He said he wants the subpoena squashed, and some of it could be relevant, but it needs to be tailored specifically to what they're looking for. The judge wants to know, well, what do you want tailored? He brings up, this is what I want. This, that's the minutia of it all. Again, Wendy's PayPal usage, there's no connection. The prosecution begs to differ. Another lawyer spoke up about a Rule 17 in a trial, basically saying the allegation is that misrepresentations were made to an insurance company, not to a financial institution. Thus, why do you need financial records? The prosecution is saying, but the financial records, if we look at them and see they live a lifestyle of buying luxurious items and returning them, that shows motive. So the prosecution's whole thing is we need these records to look at their spending habits and show you that there's motive for doing this. I told you this. I was wondering, well, did they get any of the $450,000? They did all this, y'all, and only got $25,000.
Yeah. I forgot where we found that out when in covering this. We found that out when it initially happened. I found that out. I forgot where we found it out. I think it was in the prosecution's in their court documents. And we found out they only got so far. They were trying to get the $400 and something thousand. However, they weren't even able, because that's where it triggered off alarms to the insurance.
Well, and the prosecution said she said they were only able to get $25,000, and then the insurance companies caught on. Those were her words, caught on. What was interesting was when they talked about, the bank records are not going to have any bearing on the outcome of the case. The prosecution was saying, well, we see a lot, we want those business financial records because there's a lot of transfers from the business account to the personal account. So something could be going on and they want to see why. And she let the defense know, we did request subpoenas and different items before we charged, but the state can request items anytime during the investigation. So basically she was like, so we can request items up until, because you look at one thing, then it makes you look at one thing and it triggers another thing.
Rabbit
so
hole
you can
energy.
continue. They also said,
wow,
they have an obligation in the interest of justice and fairness and an obligation to the public, because this is a financial crime that could affect the public. So the public has a right to be aware of all of this. I was like, oh, because the big thing is everything will be exposed. Their business records, their financial records, like their personal records, everything will be up.
i.e. they're acting, at least in season 10, that they're doing extremely well. The business is doing well. They're doing, she's been giving this very luxurious lifestyle. They're fixing up their home they were just in this past week talking about the different renovations that they're done. Yeah, we just got $100,000 invoice. That's just one invoice. And they have all these other things. She's not paying attention to the budget. It's not looking good. And I'm not sure if they're going to use footage against them in court, but that might be the next thing.
That's what I was wondering, because I'm like, man, the very first episode of this season is her starting off talking about renovations and costs. It's like, this is not good. Also, what I found was interesting. There were arguments. I'm sure you see discussion online about, well, how do we know that's Wendy's wedding ring? How do we know she didn't replace it? How do we know it's not a duplicate? How do we know her Chanel bag that she had was the one she reported stolen? Prosecution said the Osefos were asked specifically, did you replace any of the stolen items? And their answer was no. So when they
that was the argument that a lot of people were saying, well, what are the items the 15 items that they found in the house during their search that they claimed were stolen and ended up finding it in the house. So them saying that they never replaced them says that they lied about those items. 15.
Yes. 15.
I want her to know, not 3 or 4, 15.
Well, of that 15, the prosecution, this is where it got kind of spicy a little bit. The prosecution, so the judge asked the question and the prosecution was like, well, I can go into some things or not. Because the judge was like, well, some of this will be for the trial. Like, there's just certain things that they want to hear. So the judge says, okay, to the prosecution. So she goes, during the search warrant, and then the defense says, objection. Like, basically, it's not relevant. Judge allowed her to proceed.
Prosecutor to proceed.
Yes, the prosecutor to proceed. They found 4 wallets with multiple credit cards in them. One of them was Eddie's. So she said the first wallet was very clear to say it was a Chanel lambskin wallet.
Oh,
that was reported stolen.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes. So, and it had 9 credit cards in it. Another wallet they found had 15 credit cards / debit cards. Another wallet they found had 24 debit / credit cards. She said in total, they found 67 credit cards between all the wallets that were either credit, debit, or store cards, like a Neiman's, like where they would purchase and buy things. Now, my first thought was maybe some of them are expired. So then the defense jumps on that and says, the state just proved our case. They're trying this out in front of the media. So he turns around. They're trying this out in front of the media. There's no proof that all the credit cards are active right now. They could have been expired. They could have
67 credit cards.
67 credit / debit / store cards. 67.
That seems to be the number of 2025. 67.
The number of
67 credit cards, and that was the argument. That they said that some of those credit cards were expired.
That they could have been. There's no proof because he doesn't.
Oh wait, did they say could have been, or it said
could have been?
Okay, all right, defense. That's the 1 or 2 of those could have been expired, and the other 65.
60 to me. My first thought was, okay, some of them may be expired, some of them they may not use, but not that many. Because that would be every single year since you've had I would think, even if you have 10 credit cards and you had to do 10 replacements because of the expiration date, 67, and they are looking for specific stores, not like a Lowe's or this. They're looking for a Neiman's, where she would buy these expensive things. At one point, the prosecution brings up the cost of the bag. She said, my most expensive bag is $350. We're talking $8,000 Chanel bags. And the defense was like, that wasn't relevant. That wasn't necessary for you to say. Again, basically, you're throwing that out there to fan flames for the media to cover it. So I was like, wow.
And we are.
And we are. And when he would turn around and it was like, okay, I'm a journalist. What?
Hey,
also,
you're earning your strike.
7 people glad to have you here.
Because I got a lashing today. Also, the Osefo, the prosecution says the Osefos have very little money despite their public images. The defense was very upset with that because they're like, once again, you're throwing out these statements. One of the records
that really did get picked up by the media. The Baltimore Banner, that was part of their headline. Real Housewives Potomac stars have, quote, very little money, prosecutors allege. And look, now that they've approved the judge, that is the update for those that are just joining us. I'm here with Sharia Faisal from the What Else Is Going On podcast. Be sure to follow her. If you're not following me already, be sure to follow me. We'll be talking about this and covering this case. The Wendy and Eddie Osefo criminal case for insurance fraud does go to trial in April of 2026, 4 months from now. But that was the headline that all the media were reporting on today, is that they have very little money. Today, by the time you left, the judge had not made a decision on whether or not he would allow the prosecutors to be able to gain access to those 8 years of credit and bank financial statements.
Yep.
We found out earlier today that he did approve for the prosecution to move forward with getting that information, which, because they're sharing this information with the public, is going to expose anything that Wendy has said or done on Real Housewives of Potomac and whatever lavish or not lavish lifestyle that she's been living.
Yes, and I'm not surprised the judge ruled that way, because he said in court, I'm inclined to agree with the prosecution, but I will cite, they both cited different cases as to why it should go their way. He said either one or two of his cases were canceled that day, so he had nothing but time. He was going to review those cases and make his decision today. So I wasn't surprised when he sided with them, because he already said,
I don't want them to move the case because this judge sounds entertaining.
Listen, he earned a flute to me. The way he read, I love the way he made it clear. Again, I know he knew exactly who it was. The way he didn't single allegedly me out and just made it a thing for the court. You know,
I mean, I appreciate that.
Me too.
I appreciate him not doing that, because it could have been Pam. Sorry, Pam. It could have been Pam. You know, it could have been.
How do you know it wasn't the bailiff?
And mind you, are there signs in there that tell you no cameras or?
There was one on the door when I left. Yeah. So.
Was it new though?
That I don't know, because I was so excited to get into the courtroom the first time. So maybe I just completely. Again, in my mind, I was in Montgomery County, so I wasn't even really, because you're allowed to have your phone now. I'm sorry, my bad. Let me go back. I did see something that said no recording. That's what I saw. So I didn't record, allegedly.
Well, and in every case is very different. The Diddy trial, you couldn't take any of those devices. You had to bring only pen and paper in order to capture, unless you were like an attorney. Then you're able to.
Yes.
You know, on social media and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll know from here on out, Carroll County, I'm not even gonna pull my phone out. It's gonna stay in my purse. Like, I'm not even going up there. Like, I'll get a picture of them outside again. I said, I know they're probably scouring the internet. Please make sure you see the street behind you when you look at my account and see I got them on the street. I wanted to see what was interesting. They talked about the businesses. One of the records they asked for was from Ally Bank. And they said there were 2 savings accounts that were supposed to be personal in Eddie's name. One had Eddie's name, which then tied into his business. And I don't know if it's SB Consulting, something consulting. My apologies, I don't have any. Then the other one
people welcome in, glad to have you here.
And then also tied to it was Onyi Essentials. So they're saying it's not completely separate. Yes. It's not completely separate. If it was his personal savings, why doesn't it just say his savings? But some kind of way, his consulting business is tied to it, and then his second savings account has Wendy's business to it. So she said that's another reason why they need access to all of these financials, because everything is so intertwined. Yep. Yep. 40 records. 40.
Wow,
40 records. They also addressed the return items. When Eddie's lawyer spoke, he said, if you want to talk about the returned items, we should only be getting records for the returned items. So if it was I'm just saying the word wallet. If the wallet was returned, we should only be looking at the credit card that the wallet was.
I think that's
we should only be looking at specific items with records and not their overall records, which to me would take even longer. Oh, and the prosecution says that the Osefo should want them to investigate everything. They're just trying to protect them. The defense says you are not trying to protect them, throwing out these statements, wanting to make their financial records public.
To make it a mile. Yep.
That is not protection. Yeah, they were very prosecution. It was funny because she was kind of like, I hate to use the term, not a plain Jane, but just like, oh, you didn't see her coming, quite. Just, Shirley that works in the cubicle down the
sort of like a wallflower.
Yes, but then she was very much.
But when she delivered, when she had to deliver, she delivered.
Yeah, and she wasn't raising her voice, lowering it, being passionate. It was just very much, Your Honor, I did find da-da-da-da-da. I do believe that she said more than she had to. She wanted us to know all this information. I definitely.
So a little bit what the defense is accusing the prosecution of trying to put just anything out there to the media. You think was true.
And I said it was 1,000%. Like, they're both right. I feel like she's saying, "Hey, we recovered these stolen items," and he's saying, "Yeah, but you're talking about."
Hey,
like,
Nikki News, good to see you, my friend. We're live.
But then in
Empire
part of my brain
Rigo
was like, but
podcast.
that create.
I think I'm the only one.
Like, if you're looking to see why would
live,
they do
so
this is why.
Once again, Braylon.
And then basically the motive is the fact that Wendy and Eddie have been having they're in extreme debt. That was the initial report, is that they're in extreme debt. And then again, when you watch what's been playing out just on this season of Real Housewives of Potomac, you are like, okay, they're spending. She's the only one on Potomac that's wearing all of these high-end fashion houses. I kind of understand where the prosecution is going when it comes to trying to piece all the pieces together. I wasn't surprised that the judge today at the after court did decide that the prosecution can't 8 years of financial records.
This was a bonus tour, believe it or not.
So that's going to tell us a lot, because the 8 years covers the amount of time that she's been on the show. So I'm sure we're going to see very interesting spending in the years that she joins Potomac, specifically her second season when she started really dressing up and wearing high-end brands.
It makes me wonder, before the show, did they try to present a lifestyle? Because for them to find receipts back to 2010 of luxury items that were purchased and returned, and the prosecution is saying this is a lifestyle for them, purchasing luxury items and then returning them.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people like that, right, Cookie? I mean, what?
Wow.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. Cookie's in the blogs today. The neighborhood talk called her the RHOP menace.
No.
Because she's in the blog today for something completely separate in regards to an event that's happening down there in the DMV.
Really?
They said alleged RHOP menace.
Never that shady. I just say
DC's backyard band for performing in a Netflix special.
But most of the time, in fact,
no.
Oh, you've been busy today. I'm sorry.
Listen, I felt like I needed a nap after I left court, and I said, I'm not even on trial, because this was a lot. There was one point when the prosecution was running things down. I looked over at Pam, she looked over at me, and she said, this is a lot. Like, it was so much. Like, I have pages. I've read most of them too, but like pages of notes. I thought I would only have a few pages of notes, because again, I do believe the prosecution, like, did she have to mention the wallets and what was in the wallets? No, you're really just arguing as to what, like, because that wasn't even talking about the financial, what was on the records. I know she was trying to say, well, these items could be in their records that they bought, and we need to see where they come from, the business or the personal. But I felt like, oh wow, she really wants this information out. It did feel like it was almost like a public, because she mentioned more than once the lifestyle that they portray, and then when she mentioned again the cost of her bag versus the cost of their bag, it almost felt like a, like, we're gonna knock you down a little bit, just a little bit. Wendy looked good.
That's what the defense has been saying, that their prosecution is trying to embarrass this very public, beautiful Black family.
Oh, somebody said that they know people who are associated with them, and that is definitely a saintly, iconic soul. Is that how you say it? That she knows there's people I know who are associated with them, and that is how they all live, trying to outdo each other.
Before we dive in a little bit more, guys, if you're just joining us, I'm with Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast. How long did it take you to go from Baltimore, having big fun in Baltimore, to Carroll County? And how can people support you for covering the trial? Because you're not getting paid to do this.
I appreciate you. So today, traffic was bad. It took about an hour and 20 Wait, I left at 7:30. Actually, it took about an hour and 15 today, actually. An hour and 15 minutes. For the people who live in the DMV, I had to go up 695 and they have all this construction going on. Prayers up. I didn't get a speed cam violation. But you can support me on my Cash App, Taria, Taria, middle initial S like Sam, Faison, Faison, if you would like to do that. Or Venmo, same name.
If they follow you here, is that available on like your profile?
It will be.
Is that in your profile? Okay. Exactly. So after the live on her Instagram account, or if you're listening to this, I'll post it in the description of the podcast or on YouTube, because I will repost there because I know not a lot of people are on Meta platforms anymore, which is fine. So all of Taria's information on how you can support him, because you're going to be covering the case. You're going to go back in April to cover this. So because you are independent media, we should be able to support any way that we can.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, look, I had to give up my rides this morning. I said, I can't pick y'all up this morning. I got to go cover this trial.
Yeah, which it becomes costly between a drive. That's one way, hour and 15 minutes, and then you got to come back.
When I saw it coming back, I said, there's more traffic on the way back. It was like longer. So I made it almost home. Then I was like, let me cut this Uber app on and run some money.
I love when people walk them in.
It's serious. People don't realize how much you have to invest in what you want to do when it comes to being independent. How much more you put into it before you actually get paid for it. So be sure you guys are following. Taria also has her YouTube channel. She has her podcast. So make sure you're following. Everything is I'll be posting all of that. But she's here now, so you can go follow her now.
Wait, I did ask ABC News where they're hiring. I looked down at her. I said, y'all hiring?
What she said?
She started laughing and said, I wish. I said, oh, that was just a patent answer because you wouldn't have to wish. You're there. So that was just, you got to know how to read people. I know how to read people. I was like, okay.
I mean, it's not the most glamorous job being a journalist.
It is not. But let me tell you, shout out to her. Because her and I, we talked a little bit, and she said, they were talking about being a journalist. Pam was like, I don't know if I could be a journalist. And she said, anybody can be a journalist if you just want to work hard, can write pretty decent, and you can make money. And I said, well, I did go to college for that. That was my major my first year. Then I switched, what have you. And we were just laughing about that. But her pen stopped working. She took out her Charlotte Tilbury liner, that's good, and was taking notes with that. And then Pam had an extra pen to give her. I said,
oh, wow.
Yes.
I'm surprised she wouldn't have like another pen.
Yeah. And then this morning, I wanted to be cute because I'm normally in gym clothes, but I have a collection of heels that I love to wear. So I put on my turtleneck, my jeans, my heels. I get there. It's getting close to the time because of traffic. I'm running late. I got a quarter way across the parking lot. I turned right back around, put on my sneakers, and I said to myself out loud, you are a journalist. You have a job to do. Get them sneakers on. And I bolted and made it to.
You better get yourself a kitten heel.
Not a kitten heel. I feel like Portia. Not a kitten heel.
Good Lord.
Get yourself a little kitten heel, your little courtroom suits, because that's coming up. April.
I should have had a bag.
It's April 2026, which is clearly
like that. Put my sneakers on up to the door.
12 days left in the year, y'all.
Because I love
Jesus.
a heel. But yeah, it was like I said, it was surreal. It was very much. I don't think the prosecution is playing with Wendy, but I couldn't. If I had to judge based on today how I think it was going to go, I really can't call it. Even though the judge allowed the prosecution to get the bank records, I still really can't call it. I really can't.
I mean, look, and it's still too early for those that are just, because we're talking about a hearing. We're not talking about the trial. The trial for Wendy and Osefo will happen in April of 2026 that we know of. Right now, that's the date. Things can change depending, because the prosecution is already saying that they're going to need more time in regards to this. So being body language experts that we love to pretend to be, you talked a little bit about Wendy's body language in the courtroom. Let's talk about that, and also let's talk about Eddie's body language. I didn't really hear you talk about Eddie's body language.
What I got from Eddie was like, I'm into myself. I don't even want to be here right now. He takes no pleasure in the camera. Takes no pleasure. Like, to me, if you really looked at Eddie's face, he was not making. Wendy is looking around. Like the first time we went, when she's walking out, she looks over to Pam. Pam says, "You got this." She's, "Thank you." Walking. Eddie is like this. You could just see he wanted to be. And then so look at him in that video I sent you. He's not looking to the left, to the right. You could tell. It's almost, I was able to look at his eyes through his glasses, and he's scared. Of course, you would say, Taria, of course he's scared, but I really feel like he's worried.
But why does Wendy not have that same fear?
Because I believe that is her armor. I believe.
So you think she has the same fear, she just wears it differently.
And let me tell you, I know, again, we don't talk about women's bodies. Wendy is absolutely beautiful. Like, seeing her in person, I feel like she's stunning. Yeah. She's even smaller than she was a couple weeks ago. And that was kind of, I mean, her.
Oh my gosh.
Everything. And I was like, this is taking a toll on her, but she's just not letting it be shown. Wendy is so, and I'm 5'5". She's taller than me, 5'8". And she had on her Louboutins. She is tiny. And it just, I felt like this is taking a toll on her. It really, truly is. So while Wendy is presenting this armor with this smirk, and I think that's her armor, Eddie is like, I don't want to be here. I wouldn't be here if I no cameras, no anything. So it's really interesting to see to see them two together and see such vast,
outside the courtroom, because we couldn't hear what was being said.
Right.
What did you overhear when Eddie and Wendy's attorneys were being interviewed by ABC News? And while we're watching Wendy really sort of like smile at you guys behind ABC News. She's not even looking at ABC News. She's looking at the people behind. Were there a lot of people out there?
No, there was.
I hope Eddie's family isn't laying all the blame on Wendy.
Reporter, the
in
cameraman,
this situation,
Pam,
birds of a feather
Chantel,
flock together.
and the other lady that was there with her service dog.
I think that would not be the
and then the lady that ran down from the courthouse. So 5 of us out there.
By the way, y'all.
Okay, and so she was smiling at you guys.
Yes, we were directly
talking about
behind.
the hearing that happened for Wendy.
The one lady
and
was on the
today.
side, but it was me, Pam.
I think I'm the
Chantel,
only
and the other
YouTuber
lady,
on YouTube right now.
The service dog
streaming
behind
this
ABC
live.
News, and
So,
she was looking directly.
Hashtag you're welcome. It was supposed to be.
Wow.
And if you know, because she was to the side.
So 2 shows already today.
And that's what stood out to me was how she was smiling at you guys, and she kept looking at you guys. And I was just like, interesting body language.
I would have been looking at ABC News. I would think, even in my mind, just
I'd be a little bit more solemn, personally. I was just sort of like
1,000%, almost like Eddie, like anywhere. Eddie in his Beijing wanted to be anywhere, but
not the Beijing. Beijing was Beijing. He was good though. They're a very good-looking couple.
Yes, and in person, flawless. I really, like I said, but Wendy does have the eyes of a little girl to me. And I think that's so interesting. Like, looking into her eyes, it's like you see like the little girl who wants to prove. And I think that's why she is the way she is on the show. She comes off as so confident. And so, but I believe that's armor for her. I really do. I really do. And I've heard some other people that are Nigerian, a friend of mine who knows people in Eddie and Wendy's circles, say that it's almost like forced upon you, like growing up, like you have to be this, you have to be that, you have to, you have to have this air of superiority almost, but it's really hiding your insecurities, what have you.
In which people have said it's the reason why they don't like Wendy's, because she sort of has this air of superiority. Also, a lot of the fans of Potomac have said that. When you think about culturally, I think people should give her a little bit of grace. I see a lot of people are asking whether or not Susan, who's going to be on this week's episode of Housewives of Potomac, not in the most glowing way, whether or not she was in court.
She was not in court this time or the last time. It's only been.
You think she'll be at the trial?
I think so, and I think she'll be praying Holy Ghost fire in the back. The same way Tory Lane's dad said, Rock Nation will crumble. I think she's gonna holler Holy Ghost fire. Oh my God. And a ball of fire is gonna come. But she wasn't there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say, I need to double check, but I thought Wendy's publicist was there, but I'm not sure. I need to double check that.
Oh. I honestly, I know you said that it was your photo that is part of the reason why a couple more journalists were in the building this time around. Part of me thinks that Wendy called.
When you said that, that would make sense. I believe it.
And that's why she's looking around, like, because the first time you said that she was doing that, I think assuming that people knew that this date was coming and that they would show up on their own.
Yes.
Yep.
I think she personally may have called some of the folks, because Carroll County, that's not Baltimore.
No.
But the
At all.
Baltimore journalists were there.
The Baltimore Banner, not even the Sun.
Another Baltimore outlet reported on this too. So
I don't even know. I can't. But I know I met a guy named Dylan from Baltimore Banner. Very nice gentleman. But
Dylan. Well, Ellie Wolf wrote this article from the Baltimore Banner, but
okay, it's a gentleman.
No, it's a woman. She wrote the article, so I don't know if she was there.
I wonder if that was the one that I saw. I'm gonna have to look that article up.
The white woman.
The picture. But yeah, it was when as soon as you said that, Wendy calling, that would make sense, because for this, it wasn't the trial. It wasn't the plea or not, like guilty or not guilty. I thought that this was where they were going to lay out their arguments and see what they were working with. But I also wonder now, is this a stall tactic? Are they going to keep or think like, okay, the last motion was for them to be filed together. Now we're at this motion trying to get something thrown out. Now we're coming to court back on the 21st, to see if you are going to be tried to get, like, it's another.
So they're going back to court on Monday?
I mean, sorry, the 21st, January 21st.
Oh, okay.
But it's another status. So it's all these status hearings. So
I mean, that's common with.
Is that common?
Yeah, but it could also be a stall tactic. It could be a way of them trying to drag this stuff out. But this does happen. I'm not surprised by that. But we shall see. We shall see. Go ahead.
I will say this. I'm gonna be honest. I've said I don't want anybody to go to jail unless you've hurt somebody. You need to be under the jail, right? So I know we have to, you do the crime, you do the time. I don't want them to go to jail, like thinking about their families. However, I will say, based on the way that things are presented and the defense's argument, as I have evidence they're not guilty versus no, this doesn't need to be brought into the trial, unless they're saving something big for the end. I do believe, we have him on a recorded line, you know what I'm saying? Like the insurance. So it's like, I keep going back to that. Yep. He's on a recorded line saying his wife's ring, she wasn't wearing it when he told someone else she was, and they got the money for it. And they didn't replace anything. So it's like,
Well, here's the thing. The burden of proof is on the prosecution.
That's true.
All the defense has to do is put a little bit of a hole in any juror's mind.
Yeah.
And they could be, you see the Diddy of it all. Yeah. So.
And I feel like I really try when I hear things at both sides of an argument to look at the facts of it. And even I was going back and forth. Oh, this makes sense, but this makes sense. This makes sense, but this makes sense. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to get a jury of their peers and see how that goes. So I'm
jury selection process is going to be interesting for you to watch. Because the jury selection process for the Diddy case was interesting too. So that will be interesting and again, guys, be sure to follow us because we will be talking and covering this case. Unfortunately, like you said, that no one is celebrating the downfall of this family, but they did, if what they're being accused of is true, make some poor choices.
Yeah, and I'm concerned for them. I am. After this.
We're not going to let you go just yet if you have some time, because I know you've been busy. You've been in these streets. Let me
I'm trying.
Early this morning.
But you ever have days where you're like, it may not necessarily be what I thought I was going to be doing, but I feel like I did something like productive. Like I got up, went to the trial, did a little bit of Uber work, came home. I did drive a little bit. I did like 3.5 hours. Then I got to spend time with my girlfriend. I did a video after the trial, and now I'm talking to you. So I feel like I've done something.
And you guys can see Taria's video on her YouTube channel. Again, let everyone know where they can follow you and support you.
You guys can go to YouTube, type in WeGo, WEIGO podcast. I'm on Instagram, same name, Threads, same name, TikTok, WeGo podcast 1. Y'all, I'm really trying. I be wanting to do the ticks and the talks, and I'm going to get better. But you can follow me over there. And on Twitter, I am WeGo podcast as well. Thank y'all so much for just your support. I forgot, and then I will say it does make you feel good. I was over randomly on Twitter yesterday, tweeting about Beverly Hills, and somebody comes under my comment, "You going to the trial tomorrow?" Yeah, I'm going. I got you.
Oh my God. And sometimes we need you guys to remind us of certain things because we can't, we're recovering and talking about other stuff, and we have our own lives, and it's the holidays.
Yeah, and I just got back from Florida, Wednesday?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. But thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. I don't take your support for granted.
For those that don't know how to spell WeGo, can you spell it out for them so that they can follow you?
It is WEIGO podcast. That stands for What Else Is Going On podcast. I got that from Cynthia Bailey. If you go back through the old seasons, whenever Cynthia was either maybe caught or didn't want to talk about something, she would say, "Now, what else is going on?" And so that's where the podcast was born. Like, what else is going on?
Iconic. Have you ever interviewed Cynthia?
No, I want to, so I can tell her that she is the inspiration behind my name. I would actually love to interview her. I've just never reached out.
See, how are you going to do an interview if you don't reach out?
You're exactly right. Why don't you reach out for me?
Excuse me. I don't even know her, even though I was just on her podcast.
Exactly. Put a bug in her ear and say, "I really think there's a podcast name."
You never reached out, and she probably like, "Has she ever reached out?" I'm like, "Nope."
I'm gonna reach out tonight, and then I'm gonna tell you.
You should.
And then you gotta follow.
And you can say I sent you. You can say I sent you.
I'm gonna say Kim.
I mean, she could literally be watching this right now. Cynthia, you in here, girl?
Cynthia,
or she might be watching the replay. Cynthia.
I wanted to talk to you about so many things: being a Black woman business owner, being a Black woman that was a model back in the time that she was in, all of that stuff. I want to hear how she dealt with being with Leon and knowing that people were targeting him. How did you feel about that? I saw Leon once on the subway. My kids were going on an audition. I got to tell you this. I've always loved Leon, especially, from all his shows. And then The 5 Heartbeats is my favorite movie of all time. I was on the subway sitting in the car, sitting up front. The gentleman was sitting
I mean, listen, if y'all are here for it, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm gonna stay home with y'all and give y'all the context, conjecture, and connection of how this came to be. Because
the black turtleneck, it's a camel,
when the work
collar,
and being about your purpose, that equals this type of energy.
And the gentleman that was sitting up front looks at me and looks at him.
7549. So, but to answer your question,
he goes and sits down.
If you guys are here,
and I said, first I thought, wow, I wonder if he's going to the same audition as my kids, because I think there was like a father role in it or whatever. Then my second thought was, I told the kids, he has 2 more stops. If he doesn't get off, I'm going to start singing, "I got nothing but love for you." I could feel it. It was coming. And me, I've met stars before. I've met people that honestly I can say doesn't faze me like that. But there was just something about him. So I would love to talk to Cynthia. Did you feel consumed by that? How did you know?
She talked about, I forgot what interview I saw recently where she talked about that. And she said when she met him, or before she even met him, she knew that she was going to meet him. Yeah. I saw him it's probably like over a year ago, randomly in like Tribeca. And I was like, that's Leon.
Really? He still looks good.
Very good looking in person too.
Really? Okay. Well, yeah, when I seen him, he was.
Yeah, you saw him.
That was some years, but that was like maybe.
And I'm talking about recent. Like, this wasn't that long ago. It was probably like maybe over a year ago. I can't remember when, but it was recent.
Wow. See, Cynthia, if you're hearing, listen, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to tell you Kempire sent me, and then you can double check with Kempire. I'm good people. I ain't trying to.
She might be watching this later. You might watch the replay of this.
Hey,
someone asked if Cynthia sent me the skincare. She has not yet. But she's busy. Like, I don't like when people promise me things. I'm like, look, okay, you send it, you don't send it. At the end of the day, it's a benefit for you to send it to me because that's free promo.
At least you got cookies. Meredith Marks slid into my DMs 2 years ago and wanted to know my size. I thought I was going to get a Brooke Smart sweatsuit. Never got nothing.
But in all fairness, a lot of people probably wanted those, and she probably promised a lot of people those.
She asked me. I didn't.
I know you're right. That's wrong.
Like,
I mean, Cynthia did ask me too. Cynthia asked me.
How are you asking me for my address and all?
And I love trying different skincare products. And I do like a sweatsuit, but I know Meredith's not sending me anything.
Oh my Lord Jesus!
She's not sending me a thing, which is fine, Meredith. Fine.
I want somebody to send me something. Send me. Well, yeah.
I saw Meredith in Vegas when we went to Vegas for BravoCon. The last.
Did you have an interaction with her?
No, we were on the strip. I don't even know if she even saw me. She could have saw me too, the way I saw her, and I just kept it moving. I'm like, what am I saying? I love you on your show.
And she would say, Empire. I'm going to talk to my son.
She a little disheveled, but anyways, that's
These impressions.
Always the show.
Leon is 63 years old. You're lying.
How old?
60. No,
Did they say
I think he's the same age as Cynthia, which is still, you know. Oh wait, what am I typing on? I'm writing on the wrong thing. I need to look this up. Guys, you're just joining us. Be sure to follow us here on the Instagram, but also follow us on YouTube, Kempire on YouTube. Let everyone know your YouTube again and your podcast.
The Ali Bo.
He is 63.
He's 63? That's insane.
And I just saw him not too long ago. That man is still looking good.
You know what? I'm going to say this. So my mama is good raising.
And he's 6'3".
Well, yeah, he was tall when I saw him.
He was talking. I remember I was looking up.
And you're not short, yeah. The real Ali Bocum, this will be saved. Kempire saved, uploading it to the IG.
Yeah.
So that.
Thank you, Elisa. Elisa put the fully. Yeah, 60. I didn't realize she was that much older.
But you know what? Black don't crack, and I will say my mama is going to be 65 next year, and you wouldn't even know it. So I can believe it. But 63? I would have never put Leon.
Well, okay. When you look at it, Cynthia is about to be 60 in 2 years.
Okay, so that makes sense.
She looks good.
Yeah. Yeah. They
are. Damn, she was only married to Mike Hill for 2 years. Damn. Okay, let's not go another rabbit hole. But we can't talk about, since we're talking about Cynthia, did you see the video of the two women fighting over Peter Thomas, who's now locked up? Yeah. They won't let him out?
I said
they almost got physical.
He bought me a car. Said I was his girlfriend. Peter Thomas? Okay.
Fighting over Peter Thomas, who's locked up. Broke Peter Thomas.
Who is locked up
in federal prison.
He probably got a podcast in the jail. The episodes will be released.
I don't want to hear it. Cynthia, see, now that's a question I would ask Cynthia. Cynthia, don't you feel like you really missed the bullet? She's very gracious when talking about him, though.
Yes,
she's not so gracious when talking about her.
I've heard her talk about him, and she definitely, out of the two of those, she is gracious because he is not. She is definitely gracious. Definitely. Too gracious. But that's why she looks as good as she does, and he's behind bars. Well, that and him not paying taxes, but.
Right. Well, that part. Dr. Simone has been trending this week for Married to Medicine. I know you recapped that as well on your YouTube and your podcast. Dr. Simone, we found out this week. I forgot to talk about this earlier today when I went live on the tube of you, so I apologize. So here you are. We're talking about it. She gave in. Okay, for those that may have missed it, Married to Medicine this week, Dr. Simone, I was team Dr. Simone when she went off on Cecil and when she went off on her two boys. She's just like, I would like to retire. Y'all don't appreciate me. Her son is asking for a new car. He's like, aren't you going to pay for law school? Baby. Well, they did an IG Live and find out he's now driving a Tesla. So she gave in. And now they're backtracking. They're backtracking on that scene. Let me just tell you something.
My thoughts, child.
I rewatched a little part of season 5's reunion where Dr. Simone was basically letting people know that she was getting a divorce, and then they talked her out of it. When I listened to Dr. Simone talk about why she wanted that divorce, she was so clear on what she wanted. They talked her out of the divorce. Yep. She should have gotten her divorce.
Me and my mom were just talking about that. And when we were in Florida, we were talking about it. And I said, Mom, you remember when Andy said the devil didn't win? I'm so sick of people. Yeah, you can bring God in your marriage. I say I have God in my marriage all the time. It also takes me and Corey working. We're just not looking at each other saying, God's here. No, like, it takes work. And there are some people who just shouldn't be married anymore, who may have grown out of love. Because to me, like when people say communication is key, it's not. I can communicate to you all day long what I need, but if you never do it,
I was about to say,
we're
I
at a
don't
stalemate.
think Ash
And I do
Love
believe
knows that this is
that
on
Simone
YouTube. So Ash
felt
Love
freedom
2,
with calm.
this
She
is
was
on
so
YouTube.
calm,
Okay,
so
Yes.
clear,
Yes.
and just like
Let
not
y'all
like
know. It's on YouTube.
resigned to the fact, but just like, no, this is what it is. And then they talked her out of it. And some of the people that talked her out of it, are they looking at their marriages? I'm just saying. Some of the ones that Jackie and Curtis, come on.
That's true.
And so
And I
I
was behind her because I understood where she was coming from in that argument, because she was saying that she never feels supported by Cecil. Hence why they got into the issues how many years ago with Tammy, his best friend. She never felt supported. She never felt like he saw her side of things. Now, fast forward 7 years later, you're saying the same thing. Some people just like wearing the badge of, oh, I've been married for almost 30 years.
And then I feel like some people also like being the martyr. So I've come to save the day again. I've come to save the day again. You know, it's almost like, is this the toxic cycle that you are like being in now?
That wouldn't shock me, especially her being a doctor, because a lot of doctors have that sort of martyr complex.
Okay. See, that would make sense. And that's one area where I love seeing Simone. I love seeing Simone with her patients because I get that she cares for them. But then outside of that, I'm like, lady, you could give yourself a stroke behind your kids when she was saying.
When she screaming, you felt it? When she was screaming?
I felt that as a mom of a child that graduated from college last year, a year and a half ago, and then my daughter will be graduating college in the spring. I felt what she was saying, but only for you to turn around. And the way Michael, when she said, I've done some numbers for you, for your car on my iPad, you know it's supposed to be a joke, don't make me feed your food to the dog. So you think you going and spending $30
Yeah, that was
raviolis or whatever they were for me is enough for me to just say, okay, I'm going to pay for law school and your car. I just feel like they're almost in a toxic thing, even though that's her son. I don't know. I just
no, because without a doubt, because the last couple of seasons we've watched her baby those boys. They were last season cleaning up their apartment that you bought for them and they're not paying rent in. And fast forward to this week's episode, your boy Miles has the pasta in the tin that he definitely didn't wash because the paper was still in there.
And did you see that they were all just recently on vacation in Hawaii and the boys had their girlfriends with them? Both.
Who paid for that?
Thank you. Miles
Ms.
had
Ms. Parker's comment. Ms. Parker says that Cecil posted his resume, what he's been doing. Did it justify?
Sir,
because unless he's selling $1 million real estate.
I'm like the prosecution in the Osefo case. I want to see the financials. I don't want to see no resume. What did it bring in?
Like Kid Sports, nothing.
I was so with her, Team Simone. And when I saw that boy had
I knew it though.
I was like, that's
unless that night she would announce a separation, I was like, no, she folded.
Yeah. And
I wasn't.
I can see it.
I'm Tommy.
But that Cecil, I just feel like it's a way to have a discussion and a disagreement in front of children, especially grown children. But the kids know that Cecil has their back. They know it too. That's why they're comfortable doing it.
Right.
My son wouldn't be comfortable doing that in front of Corey because Corey would be like, who you know?
Mm-hmm. You can see if you pay attention to that Instagram live, you can see who they respect more.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes. I even think of it even down to the little things like we have a parking pad here and then you know we have 4 cars and then you got to fight for parking. my son would pull in the driveway sometimes, and my husband was like, well, Corey was like, if your mom is not home, you don't pull in the driveway. I don't care if you have to park down the street. Your mom doesn't walk, you walk. You know, so it's like.
And there it
But
is.
I wonder if the tables were reversed in regards to the Dr. Simone and Cecil.
Corey
family,
ain't
if
playing
that would be
about his
what he
woman.
would have said.
No, it wouldn't. It would
I don't
be
think
like,
so.
well, Simone, you weren't here.
And that, or Your Honor, we would like a divorce.
Yes, yes.
And I'm not encouraging people to get a divorce, but I'm also not encouraging people to stay in situations where they're unhappy.
And that's what it is. I know we're talking about Simone and Cecil, but I get that from Dr. Contessa because she's either on a very high or she's screaming.
Let's talk about Dr. Contessa because both of them were working my nerves this week.
Hater. And I don't even really like using, I think the word hater and jealous is so overused, but in this scene, hater was all that could describe it. I don't care if her husband said, take everybody down to the local TGI Fridays. The point is he wanted her to be celebrated and paid for. And I'm so tired of hearing, you know, if Scott planned it, I wouldn't get what I want. You know, the way to fix that is to have a conversation and your spouse say, what type of birthday party would you want to have? I want to take some of the burden off of you since you're working 6 jobs and I get done at 2:30 every day. I want to take some of the burden off of you. Give me some ideas. The fact that she can't do that. And then I was with Quad in the confessional. One thing about the Married to Medicine cast, every last one of them can piss me off and make me want to turn my TV off. They're also very funny. When Quad said, why does struggle have to be attached for a woman to earn her place? And because his mom compared Contessa to Rose, I was like, and Contessa to me, the issues I feel like that she's having in her marriage is like manifesting physically almost. Like, I feel, and that it's like she has also like a rage. Again, she's either fine or she's screaming. And I said, oh, what Heavenly has been saying about Contessa, it hit me in this episode when she said Contessa will tell you something about her husband and then get mad when you bring it up. And I was like, wow, this is the first time that I've seen like really
and she did that literally to Brandy and ruined Brandy's birthday party. I hope she apologized to her.
When I said, poor Brandy, the world knows she's got a big thyroid and that, you know,
it's just like, you know what?
Her husband decided to treat her and her friends to a dinner. She said, if my husband threw anything like this, I would be underwhelmed.
Then you need to be under because he does nothing. He barely could announce you when y'all came in.
That is crazy to me. This week was crazy.
Yeah, it was. But the way Heavenly was laughing at that table, I was like, Heavenly, you're trying to start something because it was not.
and then, mind you, these two that never got along are slapping hands.
Or high-fiving. And then when Toya said it is okay to vent. But the way Contessa tried to flip it on them and say, what was the word she used? I don't think it was misogynistic, but basically trying to tell them they were wrong for talking about her man.
Yeah.
But
like, why is the patriarchy? I'm like, wait a minute.
And not only that, Brandy came to help you set up. You say, unprompted, can I give you a word of advice about marriage? Brandy didn't even bring it up at the table, and now you're trying to throw her. I was like, Contessa is really going through something. And I was with Toya. Spend that $40,000 and get this office fixed so that I can get from you.
She seems like she has poor money management skills.
And she was on Toya some years ago about her money management skills, remember? What do you make
welcome
of
in.
Toya
We're just here chilling. You guys got
I think they have their relationship is fine.
That's what I think.
I think that their relationship is fine. Eugene knows what he signed up for. For us to still think in 2025, how many seasons later with her bringing in her own check and other businesses, she's not living off of him.
That's what I said. And I think we've gotten to this mentality of a hustle culture. Like when you get on a Housewives show or reality show, you got to have 92 businesses. The reality is when she met Eugene, she was working and making more money than him then because he was a resident. She was in medical sales, all of this. Now it's okay for her to want to enjoy her $800,000 check, allegedly,
Yeah.
that she gets.
She does very well. She's an OG. She's been a part of Robin when the money was flowing.
Yeah.
That's why I say I know Dr. Simone does well. She has her own practice and she's been on here since the beginning.
Yeah.
She does very well. And I'm sure she probably makes more than Toya because, she's the medicine. So, yeah, they all do very well. So I know that's part of their storyline this season, the fact that Dr. Eugene is working further away. And I mean, people are going to still get on Toya, like, oh, you just going to drive Eugene into an early grave. No, she's not. She making a lot of money too.
And I think Eugene loves his job. I think he likes working.
Oh, yeah. Because he's still in emergency medicine. A lot of people don't stay in emergency medicine that long.
Yeah. So it's like he enjoys this. And let's be clear. The first or second episode, their kids said him working hours away is no different than when he was home. He was working.
Oh.
So clearly he likes working. Yeah.
And Ashton knows how to properly cook something and not leave the paper on the tin. So Toya's doing something right at home. Toya and Eugene are doing something right at home.
Them boys can cook. I was like, oh, they're cooking for real.
Yeah, Ashton can throw down.
Yeah.
But Eugene can throw down. So he learned it from Eugene.
Yes.
But those are real life skills.
Yes. And one thing that I appreciate about Eugene, I'm not saying to objectify your wife, but you still want to know that your husband wants you after all these years. So when he came home last week and Toya left a note for him, he said, oh, I wish the note was saying, come meet me in the bedroom. And he was telling her she looked sexy. And then you see Eugene talking to the guys about, the nurses like me working there as a doctor, and you have Cecil. I want to see the nurses. And then a couple seasons back, Scott showing them pictures of women in his DMs. And I was like, Eugene really loves his wife, it seems like. And you got these other men joking about other women.
You're two fire signs. You and your husband are two fire signs.
Aries and Sagittarius. Yeah.
Because my thing, Aries, and that's what they are.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy.
When I told you, when Corey interviewed them, it was like, oh my God, there were multiple times where we're like, she told a story of when they were dating. He took her to like a family function and he kind of just left her, and she did well. When me and Corey first started dating, I went to his family reunion. Corey went to the store with his cousins, came back, me and the family high five. Like, it was so many similar. And I think that's why I feel like I get them a little bit. Like,
and you both are Aries women.
Yes.
Sagittarius men. That's important. Like the female male dynamics in astrological signs are important. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, because I know we've been live over an hour. For those that are just joining us, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You've been busy today. We have Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast. She gave us a full update. I will be uploading this, God willing, uploading this to the YouTube. So make sure you're following us both on there. I'll be tagging all of her information there. Taria, let people know again your Cash App and Venmo so that they can support you, because you're going to be covering this case, this Wendy Osefo case in Carroll County. And that is a very long drive. That's a full day of work that you're missing out on. So let people know where they can support you.
Well, thank you again. And TN Diva Esquire, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I used to write a lot. I used to have a blog, and then I stopped. So maybe you might be getting some wheels turning again. But you can find my Cash App at Taria, Taria, middle initial S like Sam, Faison. Same for Venmo. If you forget, just DM me on Instagram at WeGo, WEIGO podcast, and I will get that Cash App link over to you.
And you're going to post it in your profile here on Instagram. So make sure you guys follow her here. We'll answer this one last question in regards to Married to Medicine, and then I quickly want to get your thoughts on Potomac and what's going on in Potomac. Treasure says, what do you guys think about Heavenly not talking to her son for over a year? I don't know if I believe everything that's coming out of Heavenly's mouth. I think Heavenly was demoted this season. And he to talk about everything that's going on with her son. Your thoughts?
I don't know if I necessarily believe that either. Heavenly doesn't strike me as that type, but I'll say this: if it did happen, it was the son.
Yeah, that's what we do. Okay, we help out people over here. Okay, there it is.
And it makes me wonder. She just said, oh, I cussed him out, maybe used some profanity. It makes me wonder, what exactly did you say for your child not to talk to you for an entire year? What did you
She's
say?
a nasty individual. We've seen her be nasty to these women. Can you imagine?
And I the things that I'm imagining she said, I'm like, yeah. For they seem to pour a lot into their kids and give to the. So for him to choose to step away for a year, if that's true, what did she say to him?
Something very nasty. But did you see that scene? Daddy, why didn't you tell me? I did tell you.
I was going to
apparently this happened in 2022. He's like, I did tell you. Daddy, you didn't tell. You told me recently. This happened back in 2020. Daddy, I was like, this is weird. Like, I wasn't making a big deal of her calling him daddy, but this whole very like little girl energy that you're giving in this moment makes it weird.
It was the impression
and I do believe that she knew. I believe that she acted like she didn't know to us. I believe she knew.
Hence why I think she intentionally decided, and Toya and Dr. Simone both reiterated what I've been saying, that I feel like, she conveniently took a demotion this season so she didn't have to talk too much about that, and there wouldn't be a focus on her and as her storyline. Her running for political office was convenient.
I was gonna say that it's like, that's why they couldn't get your contract together. She said, it took weeks for them to get her contract together. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it though. You can pop in here and there. I'm fine. Leave it.
Are you enjoying the season without her?
I'm taking it as cotton candy, like I do Potomac. I don't necessarily feel like it's a little bit more maybe substantial than Potomac, but I'm choosing to enjoy the laughs and everything. So while I don't know if I can say it's good, but I can say that I'm laughing, and I like watching Black people on TV. So that's what I'll say. Quads, man, king. I don't like negging. I'm not a fan of men negging women. And the whole why back, your breath stink, you got an attitude. I was like, what? I'm not a big fan of that, but maybe that's their dynamic and maybe she seems fine with it. But I'm laughing this season. So I'm
and for the people that don't realize it, you really did not want to watch Married to Medicine. You said that Dr. Heavily ruined the show for you.
Yes, she did. And Married to Medicine was one of my favorite shows. It was Atlanta, Married to Medicine, and then Potomac. And she made it so that I didn't want to watch it. And it pissed me off because I couldn't enjoy, even though Dr. Simone gets on my nerves too, there's something about Dr. Heavenly that just no matter when I try with her, then we'll see who she is on her YouTube. And it's like, exactly what, just like on, I know you've seen the clip from Carlos King's Patreon where she's talking about Simone and Cecil and saying that that scene was worse and went on much longer.
Thank y'all for being here.
But God forbid,
she wasn't there.
Listen, it's been a minute since I did long.
She got that from a producer.
Still here.
And that's my issue with Dr. Heavenly is because she presents information as if it's fact. And so when she said about Toya, I got receipts on you. I said, oh no, she's just heard things. And so that's why Dr. Heavenly is not a trustworthy narrator.
Do I need to bring you receipts, baby girl? Because I got receipts.
When Contessa went into a split and she said, oh, Contessa just split her ass. Those are the moments that I'm choosing to enjoy those moments, eat the meat and throw out the bones.
Let's talk about Potomac, Real Housewives of Potomac. Speaking of eating the meat and throwing out the bone. This week, Stacey Rush was on the Drew Barrymore show. She was presenting like QVC. We talked about this. You were on stage with me when Stacey revealed to us that QVC was working on some sort of fashion line with her. But look, I'm not one of the Stacey fans that are like, oh, Stacey doesn't lie. I believe she lies, okay? I believe QVC probably was not working on something with her then, but I think they would be working on something with her now, and they should. They
need to work on spaghetti strap, scoop neck, knee length bodycon dresses. Because that's her signature.
She's gonna dress a lot better. She's working with Wendy's stylist now.
That was crazy. I feel like Stacey does some of this stuff to be talked about. She knows what she's doing. I truly believe Stacey
She's no fool.
Many people don't know it, but I'm a great cook, girl.
You saw those the cobbler.
The cobbler and the potato salad. I was like, that's interesting. Okay. So I said, Stacey knows exactly what she's doing. She's the center of all the conversation. She knows.
And they really focused on her a lot this season. And this is a proven point because you saw our beautiful synergy on stage with her.
Yes.
We left there thinking that Stacey's going to be our bestest friend. But what she doesn't understand, when I get information, I'm going to talk about it. I got information about the reunion. What went down at the reunion, she unfollowed me immediately, which didn't hurt my feelings. Right. I just found it to be interesting. Mm-hmm. And I came into the season with an open mind and an open heart.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm still loving her. I don't. If she doesn't love me anymore, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying her this season.
Me too. And when she said, when Kay said,
much,
okay,
but,
Detroit, she said, okay, Baltimore.
I watched
even
all
her
the Bible
clapbacks
shows
okay that
now.
they showed.
Okay.
When Kay said, Stacey, you know I can fight. She said, I know you can. We've all seen it. I'm enjoying her. I'm enjoying the way she's able to handle those ladies. To me, this is what I meant with cotton candy. Potomac, there really is no substance for me. When you eat cotton candy, you get excited. You're like, oh my God, cotton candy is so good. It's not going to fill me up, but it's going to make me feel good eating it. And then once I'm done eating it, I forgot I ever ate it and I moved on to something else. Yep. That's what it is with Potomac. Potomac is cotton candy to me right now. Well said. And I'm enjoying the cotton candy.
And when you think about season 5, Monique and what went down at that reunion and how Giselle melted in front of our eyes, with Stacey having everyone come at her, not one person. Yeah. Everyone on this cast has been coming at her with no solid proof. No solid proof. Ashley's still in interviews. If this is the road that you guys are going to take at the reunion, I feel sorry for you. Yes. Everyone on this cast is coming for Stacey, and she has not shown one sweat gland at all.
Not a stutter of a voice, not a tear, not an angry raised voice, none of it. She's handling it with ease, and I think that's also what's getting to these ladies. I'm not going to give you I'm not going to become the person you want me to be by you provoking me. You're not getting that from me.
Aries.
And it's interesting that come on, say it again.
Aries woman.
I'm not going to give you the reaction you think you're going to get. Inside, I could be crying, screaming, hollering.
She is. She's at home crying right now.
You won't get it. She's talking to Timo. Like, can you believe? But you won't get it. And it's interesting that now
they're about to end it, y'all. I know it's been a long minute, but
Monique wants to keep her position on the show.
I think so too. I think as well, which is why
she doesn't like cooking, so she's not gonna cheat her on that.
Glad to have y'all here.
I really am enjoying Stacey, and the fact that Stacey was on a daytime talk show by herself,
which is highly unusual when you look at how these housewives. But Andy already gave the cosign that he finds her endlessly entertaining. Speaking of endlessly entertaining, who's not endlessly entertaining? Kiarna. So Kiarna's been doing a lot of promo this past week. What are your thoughts on Kiarna? Did you see the preview for this week where she gets a picture frame and not the engagement ring? I feel like they're setting it up.
Me too, because there's no way in the world they would have him look
at her
and then give her.
This is not a setup, Syria. I want to throw a shoe at the damn TV screen. Because if it plays out to that way where she comes to the reunion and she's still not engaged, I'm like, okay, girl, you like it, we love it.
I feel like, remember when Greg last season, people got upset and he was like, when you calm down, then you'll get my last name or something like that. To change some things about her. And I'm not saying she needs to change some things about her. There is a hint of immaturity around her. She cannot articulate her issue with Stacey, even at the lunch. I loved when Stacey told her, because Kay tried to flip it. You were not nice to me at the Bloom Ball. Let's go in chronological order. Then she automatically shifts it to something else. She cannot articulate an argument. I still don't believe her and Angel were as close as she said they are, like right now.
Really?
I don't believe that. I believe
they're definitely close now.
Yeah.
Which has been to Angel's detriment, I believe.
Yes, because she's not allowing herself to open up. And I'm sorry, I keep going back to this. Angel keeps talking about the energy they're giving her, especially Wendy. When Wendy laughed at Giselle bringing up catfish, you got mad. When Wendy came to you and called you out and said you have different energy than Giselle, than me, Angel's response was, I can. Okay, cool. Then I can have different energy towards you as well. And I think there's something about Angel that just doesn't, it's not unselfish. It's just, and I know some people think,
Mercurial?
Say it again.
Mercurial?
Yes, she's mercurial. And also, what we talked about in the text I sent you and Danielle, I'm used to being an NFL family moving, but your husband played for the same team, didn't he? For all his years. So where did you move? Where did you move from? Where did you move to? I think Angel is was a mean girl in Wags. I do.
I mean, that's the accusations from some of the other women that were a part of that, allegedly.
I do. And it's just, there's something that, and I have to go by what I see. I don't know her in real life, but she seems like the type. There's people that bring energy to a room, and there's people that make the energy go down. And she seems like she makes the energy go down. Her and Kay. And I thought Kay would be so
Kay especially.
different. Yeah.
Kay especially. Especially when they were divas. Yeah.
I'm going to go to bed, guys. What did you think about Bobby? And Bobby saying, we'll get there when we get there.
I think Ashley is a Karen.
Me
I think
too.
she elevated the whole, he might have a temper
unnecessary,
problem.
Karen.
First of all, I didn't like the way that he said it, but I don't think that Bobby has shown anything to us that he has a
Thank
temper
you.
problem.
Thank
Exactly.
He's silent and strong.
Empire.
He's silent
Empire
and
till his
strong.
night.
And that's probably the only reason I'm rooting for Angel to come back for a second season.
That's funny for Bobby. Yeah, I was like, he was frustrated. He probably
So wait a minute. Kim
frustrated.
Pyre's
I mean, they're
rooting for
commuting.
Angel to come back
Some of the
because of
comments
Bobby.
said they were commuting
And I'm
from
over Angel
Colorado.
because I like
I saw that
politics.
And they were
Okay,
commuting.
so
I was
listen.
like, I do agree with
We're both for
Giselle,
Team Angel,
shockingly,
but for
when she
different
said
reasons.
Angel thought they'd be done filming by now. Surprise, surprise.
I didn't even think it was a big deal. And Wendy I didn't really love Wendy this week, but I was like, okay, Angel, you've been coming for Wendy, so she doesn't see it for you anymore.
That was
But at the same time, I was like, you don't need to add anything, Wendy.
Yeah.
You don't need to add evicted. I don't think she was evicted.
Exactly.
And
I think it was an Airbnb.
Giselle said that. It was like Giselle, the way Giselle presented the story was like she got put out. It was like, no, her lease ended. Now maybe she had the wrong dates. But then at the end of that scene, when Giselle says, well, you know, Bobby doesn't like Eddie. And the way Wendy just started laughing. And then she goes, okay, I made that up. I'm like, yeah, and how much else have you made up and not just told us that you made it
She's
up?
admitted a lot this season in regards to her ways.
I mean, she knows that her position is safe with Bravo. They're allegedly putting her on the ultimate road trip. I'm like, I need some OGs on the road trip. I don't want you've been here 10 seasons.
Well, I did spill some tea earlier today during my live in regards to it, because I heard from some very reliable sources that the rumors, Page 6, everyone was reporting Page 6, but, X has been the one who has been on it in regards to Nene being considered for this. But I heard from some sources, I don't know who leaked this to the blogs, but there ain't no contract yet, from what I've heard.
Are they in talks though? Is it true that she's in talks at least?
I don't know. In talks is a strong exaggeration. Not saying it's impossible, because I spilled the tea in London a year ago that she was going to join Traders.
I remember that.
However, based on what I've heard, and I'm gonna get some information this weekend, hopefully. What I've heard, in talks is strong. Other people are definitely confirmed. I already know some people that have gotten actual contracts, not necessarily signed on the dotted line yet, but I mean, I don't know if Bravo's the one putting this out there because they want her to do that, but no.
That would,
I honestly don't think Nene's the one spreading that.
No,
I put out a praise dance when I saw that. I said, oh.
It's not impossible. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I feel like based on what I've heard, I'm like, oh, so wait, so where did this come from?
And you said you don't think Nene's the one putting it out.
I don't think Nene's the one putting it out. Based on what I heard.
Oh man, I got to get Jesus off the main line because everybody's there and pull him to the back line and say.
If you're going to do this, I feel like Nene should be a part of it. Vicky is part of it. She already confirmed that she's going to be a part of it. They said that Giselle's going to be a part of it. They said Teresa Giudice is going to be. They're really the main characters of this are going to be the OGs.
And so I want my OG to be an OG. Like I know we saw Giselle in the Ultimate Girls Trip. We saw her in Love. Well, I didn't watch it, but Love Hotel. Give me give me anybody but Kim Dulce. I personally could never see her again and be fine.
They said that Kim's in talks too. So I haven't heard anything in regards to Kim, but yeah, that when I heard today, I was like, wait, so that's interesting. So who's putting this out there that this is happening?
Well, man, I wish that it was Kim and 5 black women so that she could have the same experience in her mind that she had season 10 reunion when she said what other white women would sit on this couch with black women. That's just me, though.
I definitely think Kim is going to be a part of it because she's back in the good graces of the network. But we'll have to wait and see. They have to figure this out soon because they're starting to film at the end of
January, right?
Yeah.
And is Vicky signed on officially? Because she said she
was. Yeah. Okay. Vicky Gomez is going to be part of that, and then she's going to start filming.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow.
We are going to talk, y'all.
Okay. I hope it's good. So are they're replacing Girls Trip with Road Trip?
Yeah. It's going to be Real Housewives Ultimate Road Trip.
And are they
going to be traveling to some iconic spots over Real Housewives history.
Okay, so spots. I thought they were going to be traveling. I don't know why, to see other housewives. That's what I thought.
The premise of it, they weren't very clear on what the premise is, but that's apparently what it's going to be. They're going to start in Orange County and then make their way over to the East Coast.
Oh, that makes sense. They're going to start with the first one. Okay, they're going to start with the first one, but they need to conclude with the one that put it on the map, Atlanta. Okay, for me.
I mean, again, I don't know who's putting it out there. I got to get more information, but I do feel like, based on what I've heard today, people saying that it's, first of all, page 6 article, they just pieced together everything that they saw us talking about on social. So I was like, ain't nothing new. Y'all just changed the word. In talks. Literally, their first sentence is my thumbnail. The door is open. I said, page 6. Was it a slow news thing? So, but everyone runs with that because it's page 6.
Yeah.
Everyone runs with that and they're like, oh my God, so Nene's returning. I was like, well, X has been saying it for over a week.
Right.
We did a whole live last week, and the thumbnail said the door is open.
Yeah.
Page 6, if you're watching, at least have me on the platform.
I know. Say it again.
I mean, their numbers are terrible, though. So I do better numbers on YouTube than they do.
Get fired.
Y'all need me.
Not you,
Right, Crystal and Cynthia. I have one of the top videos on their YouTube channel.
Yes, you are, because I looked.
And Cynthia, where's my Golisi now? Golisi now? I'm gonna have to learn how to say it.
Where's his Golisi mail? And make sure that you respond. Like Nene said, when I text, when I DM, respond immediately.
See, this is why Nene needs to return. I think it's been long enough. Nene needs to return. It's going on 6 years since the last time she was on the network. It's time for Nene to return. I don't think she needs to return to Real Housewives of Atlanta just yet, but in some capacity.
Ease her way in, yeah.
In some capacity. In regards to Potomac, we talked about Angel, we talked about Kierna, we talked about, what about Ashley? How are you feeling about Ashley? This week, Ashley admits to hooking up with Teresa's son.
And Giselle told, and I've seen this repeated, Giselle talked about safety being around husbands and kids. And yet, now, there were rumors that Ashley hooked up with Charisse.
What?
Yes, that Katie hooked up with Charisse and Ashley too. So,
but wasn't Katie the one that said that?
And well, Katie was the one that said she hooked up with Ashley. And
we all know Ashley's a lesbian.
I mean, anything's possible with Ashley because I feel like, and I've been leaning on this season, Ashley is just as bad as Michael Darby.
I thought Jacqueline could be accused of but Charisse.
I feel about Ashley the same way I felt about her 10 seasons ago when the season premiered and she was on that swing. saying that she has Robin had $25 in her bank account. Something about her I just did not like, and still don't. And for her, for that news to come out, and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be like some fun little thing. It's like, if that was Stacey, if that was a man, let it have been a man.
Yeah, they would be called a predator, and that's why I feel about Ashley. I'm like, I'm seeing it more and more.
Yeah,
because that's weird. And then again, it's in the same season where Giselle accuses Stacey of you can't have husbands and children around Stacey. That's a big statement. That would come up at the reunion. Yeah, I don't think they're going to have a good reunion. I already know based off of her being on Drew Barrymore's show this week. Stacey, she's sitting next to Andy at that reunion.
She better be. Yeah.
Do you want to see Karen at the reunion? Mm-hmm. You want to see Karen at the reunion?
I honestly forgot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of forgot about Karen, except for when they bring her up. I didn't even think about her.
Dare you? How dare you? The disrespect. You had her sentencing.
I didn't even think about her until they bring her up.
I still think that
you don't miss her. I feel like a lot of people say that they miss Karen.
7 Central,
if she
the
comes back
episode
with
9,
all
8
the ladies,
Central.
I'll be
Karen's
like,
watching it, giving commentary, and then
but
watch
she's
what
not
happens.
like
at the front.
Are you
enjoying the season?
I'm just saying.
Cotton Candy.
That should have happened.
Oh yes.
Cotton Candy. Cotton Candy. You enjoy. You don't have too much of it though, because it could be sensitive on the molars. But you enjoy. Well, there's that too. I'm choosing to enjoy the moments that I can, call out the moments that I don't, and just move on, because I don't know if it will ever return to its former glory. So I'm just gonna leave it where it's at, even though a lot of the former glory involved castmates that I didn't really care for. What I'm over is the forcing of a beef. This beef with Stacey is forced. It's not real. Even if it was something that happened offline, I would rather hear if Jazzy found out Stacey actually said that, because I don't believe Stacey told Ashley and Giselle.
But Jazzy and Stacey have a falling out. You were at my show in DC when she told us on stage that her and Jazzy were like tight, thick as thieves.
And she was
they have some sort of falling out, and I wonder if it's because they kept on putting in Jazzy's head.
Yes.
That she only came to your wedding because Wendy and Ashley came. So I'm wondering if that's the root of the beef, because if you watch the after show, Jazzy's not filming with Wendy and Stacey, and I think if they were good, she would have been. Right.
And see that, man, I hope that she didn't let them, because I appreciated Jazzy saying, I'm going to need more proof that my girl.
But you saw she went back to ask Ashley about it, and I was just like, oh Lord, here goes, she's falling for it.
And then Ashley,
unless Stacey went to them and said, if you guys aren't going, I'm not going. Unless you have proof about that,
that's what I said.
It's just hearsay. It's all hearsay. The same about the Chris of it all. The same about the bad breath of it all, even though we didn't experience that, but it was just interesting that we had someone report back to us that night that.
Do you think that we subconsciously held our breath?
Shut up, no. No.
Oh my God.
No. But I was next to her, and she kept on trying to touch me, and I was like,
yes,
don't
she
touch
was.
me.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
And I didn't have that experience with her.
I didn't have it either. I did not have it either. That's when we found out that our birthdays are days apart, I believe. I think she's the third.
Stacey, I know you're gonna watch this, girl. I know AJ watches. AJ follows me. AJ, let's mend this friendship. Let's mend this friendship. Let's mend this friendship. I'm ready to end the beef. Let's squash the beef.
Squash the beef. Let me mediate. AJ, me and you will mediate and squash Stacey and Kim Pyre's beef.
I have no beef. I really feel no way about it. Even if we don't squash the beef, I feel no way about it, because I still enjoy her on the show.
Yeah.
The malicious is that y'all held your breath. I did not. I did not.
I was asking because we didn't smell it. So maybe that,
That was not my experience. That was someone else's experience.
That was not mine either.
People said that they believe that they ran with this narrative because the cast watches us. Someone got a live stream ticket to my New York City show where I talked about it. So it's my fault.
Because I just can't see, why did the breath thing all of a sudden stop? Like,
Because
why?
it wasn't landing for them. They kept on coming for something with her, and it wasn't landing.
And that again, come with something real. This whole fake thing, you know, even though I didn't care for her, did not care for her. She irked my nerves. But it would have been interesting to see Mia interact with Stacey this season, like what side she would have gone. Because you never know with Mia. So would she would have went with Giselle and all of them, or would she have been on Stacey's side? I'm curious.
I don't know. I mean, she was always, it feels like everyone's always trying to be on Giselle's side, and I don't know why, because Giselle, I used to enjoy Giselle, but when you look at Giselle, like, she, again, season 5, melted in front of us, and Stacey's getting much more than Giselle's got, and she is just taking it on the chin.
I mean,
like she was made for this.
Giselle could dish it out, and when Wendy had enough and gave it back to her, she didn't talk to her for 2 seasons. And Candace talked about her neck. All her interviews were like this, and a turtleneck, actually, until she got it worked out. So
did she get it worked out? Did she do something?
I feel like she did.
What do you do to get your neck pulled?
Stop it, sir.
I just put retinol. I put the butter retinol, guys. Go to butterskin.com. Use my discount code Kempire10. I use the retinol. I use retinol on my hands. I just got my nails did.
Come on, nails. Okay, come on, nails. Nice.
I mean, I couldn't see a damn thing because I went to the eye doctor today. And I hurried my way over to the nail salon, and I was like, "Looks good to me."
They look good. They look good. Your hands.
Thank you.
So soft, like a buttermilk biscuit.
Maria, we pinned your cash app so people can support you. Going to be covering this case. For those that watch the replay, don't forget to like the video. I will try my best and upload this to my YouTube channel and the podcast. So I've already done this before with Taria. Be sure to follow her on her podcast, What Else Is Going On, with Taria Faison, and her YouTube channel. I'll be posting all the links to that. Taria, what else is coming up for you that people should look out for? And they should go watch your Outside the Courtroom live reaction that you posted on your YouTube earlier.
Just more YouTube videos I will be doing. I'm a little behind, but I will be releasing my Salt Lake City recap tomorrow, as well as my Beverly Hills recap tomorrow. But then I'll be all caught up. So I was chugging along. Just more content coming out. I got caught up in, working. I'm shifting some things around to make sure that I put in the time to cultivate this and the community that I'm building. I'm thankful to you for helping me along on that journey. You've been very instrumental. I don't take that for granted. You know that. And yeah, that's it. Y'all just come to.
Why were people calling me out in your comments under that video?
Wait.
They were calling my name, and I randomly went to see because I was watching your video, and I was like, "Why did you mention me in the comments?"
Wasn't that funny?
like twice today.
Yes. They had no idea when they said, "Where is Kempire? You need a handler." That was funny.
Nice.
Yo, I'm an Aries. As people try to catch us, and we just can't be caught. We can't be reined in.
Stacy.
Me and but it was exhilarating getting called out today after I got over the embarrassment of it all. Anyway, I'm being called out in court, kind of, sort of, but not quite.
Have you been, one last thing, have you been watching Beverly Hills? Are you even recapping Beverly Hills?
Yes, so I missed episodes. I hate that they're adding Watch What Happens Live again. They not learned their lesson before, but I recapped 1 and 3, and I'm going to be recapping last night's tomorrow. I will say this. Bose. Kyle's not my favorite for sure, but this push with her, none of it it doesn't seem like it's coming from a genuine place. Stick with you and Dorit's relationship, which is interesting that she's now saying the same thing Garcelle has said about Dorit, that they've all said about Dorit, that she talks too much. I was like, but I believe Dorit really does like her. I'm gonna say this. I don't know if we're getting our first season Dorit back, who just said whatever she thought. I prefer this version of Dorit, whether it's fake or not, compared to seasons past. I prefer this version of Dorit. Kyle is annoying me, as always, kind of dancing around the subject, but demanding honesty from others. The way that she has seemingly wants the audience to know that there's a different side of PK, I stand firm. You don't know a person unless you live with a person. You see the side of PK that he wants you to see, not the side that we home 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you. We will talk. Okay.
So to kind of
I don't know if
downplay
the
what
official
Dorit
Nikki
saying, when
News
she
is
said,
still here or not.
when she said
but
that
we will talk, everybody.
not to
We will
defend
talk
PK,
for
but he
sure,
probably
so.
didn't know the picture was taken. Why
And
didn't
I'm
you
still
have the same energy
frozen.
for Mo?
Okay, I'm back. Hi.
When he
Right.
had, you
I'm
didn't
back.
say that.
So we
So
are
it's
going to talk like
She's a
this.
bag of
Shout out to
contradictions.
Queen
Yes, she's so
7549,
cringy to
the
me. The
official
Morgan
Nikki
thing
News.
of it
Don't
all,
know if they
I
are
don't care
still
if she
here,
never
but
talks
we
about
will
it again.
talk.
I'm over it now. I don't even want to hear about it anymore.
Now she's ready to talk about it. She's like, oh, it could be Brad or Angelina. Who cares? Because you saw that was like a clear setup. Because Bose was like, no, what am I asking? What am I asking?
It was like a softball pitch for her.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, so now you're ready to talk about Morgan because you're no longer dating Morgan.
Right. I don't
think,
care.
And even Erica said on Watch What Happens Live, she feels like Kyle's going to end up getting married to a man. She doesn't believe that Kyle is like a full-on lesbian. I think she had met someone that she connected with, and it was that. I don't think she's a full-on lesbian. She's not a part of the community.
I feel the same thing too, that she's going to end up marrying a man. I thought the same thing. I also
Well, she first got to get a divorce.
Yes, because like what I felt for her, because before she even commented back to him, when they talked about Mauricio's picture being leaked, and he said, you know, sometimes passion just overtakes you. And she said, can you shut up because you're referencing yourself? I felt for her in that moment because I was like, how long has it, that's kind of like telling her, how long has it not been since he's not had that passion with you? Like he's so overcome with passion.
What about that passion in that music video that she did with her lesbian
Now
lover?
that is true. And that's another thing. You can't cry privacy when you were baiting people.
Baiting, literally.
You were baiting people. You were on a fishing expedition. That's what
damn.
That's what the defense said about the prosecution today. They were on a fishing expedition. But I'm interested in Amanda. I will tell you the scene when Amanda and Bose sat down and Amanda was talking about manifesting, the way Bose was looking, I was cracking up. I knew it was going to be something. And then when she asked her about the advice to Dorit, and Bose said, what in the frou-frou? I'm looking for some advice. I wonder who Amanda's going to get into it with, because the way they cut it, it could be Erica, it could be.
It looks like she gets into it with Bose a lot this season. I didn't like what Bose said last week about the whole children of it all, because I didn't feel like Amanda was talking like she's the mother. She was like, to me, she was being inclusive of her stepchildren because they are very young and they've been in her life for a long time. She's helping raise them. And then this week, I felt like she was baiting Amanda for it's like, so what advice would you give her? When Amanda clearly said that she is a life coach, therapist, and she says, I'm not a financial advisor. She literally says that in the scene.
And
she said that. And she's like, what is this foo-foo that she's giving? She's giving what? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and also just because you don't believe in it, clearly she's been successful at it.
That part. Very successful at it.
And
here's the thing that people don't understand, that they need to understand. Yes, you want some actionable steps, but first of all, Dorit should be speaking to a forensic accountant and a lawyer.
Yes.
The other thing is, if you really want to change your relationship with anything, be it money, you got to start at that foo-foo place.
Yes.
That's why people end up with making the same mistake over and over again, because they haven't gotten to the root. They're thinking, oh, if I change the action here. No, if your mindset is still messed up when it comes to money or love, whatever it may be, you're going to be making the same mistake over and over again. I understood where she was coming from.
1,000%.
Now you got me defending this other lady, Bose, with that bundles on your head. What was she wearing in that scene?
I said, what, Bose, what is going on? Like, I understand this. And then you were not flat ironing Lael's hair. Girl, I didn't see. What? Okay. I said I'm gonna let it go.
It's the eyes.
I'm trying to have an open mind and open heart, but I just feel like there was an intentional, like, with the Kyle thing. Again, as much as Kyle gets on my nerves, I would have been irritated if I was Kyle too. Like, what? Like, what are we doing here? I ain't seen no black men at that speed dating. I said, oh, they must.
I thought about that. I love how that white man called out Rachel Zoe for. She's like, all you white women love Coldplay.
I said, on my recap, my notes, I said, do they? Wow, is that y'all? Is that a thing?
I didn't even know that was a thing. I like some Coldplay here and there. I'm not a huge fan, but I like some Coldplay here and there.
We need to go look at that audience when the executive got caught. See what was in the audience.
Well, she was a white woman listening to it.
She just broke her silence. I didn't read what she said, but she just broke her silence.
Basically the same thing. She was like, she was on the, she made a terrible mistake, blah, 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 blah. She lost her job, blah, blah, blah.
Is she still with him, I wonder, or was it worth it?
No, they're not together.
So it's not a TJ and Amy. Okay.
No. And TJ and Amy, I saw them on the red carpet with their family. Yeah.
And their exes are still together.
Yes. Andrew Shue from Melrose Place.
What a crazy story. Oh yeah, my
parents got
divorced and they swapped partners.
That's crazy. But I'm not even mad at Andrew Shue and TJ's ex-wife. I'm not mad at them.
I hope they live.
They were forced into this situation.
Yeah, I hope they live happily.
And if you had a chance to date Andrew Shue, wouldn't you take it? I'm not asking you.
I might wish TJ's ex before Andrew. Like, no, I'm just kidding.
She is beautiful though.
I'm not.
Yeah, she is.
No, TJ's ex is very beautiful.
She is.
All right. I've kept you long enough. What happened?
I was seeing somebody said bring Jassy in full time only if she's friends with Stacey.
I think Jazzy, I do like Jazzy this season. I think she would do better than, she's also actually married. However, I do believe Bobby's numbers, I looked it up, he's made nearly 40 million. He's not broke. Which goes back to, makes me wonder, it's like, okay, the Airbnb may have, folded for you guys, but you guys have the coins, just get another Airbnb.
That's what I was wondering, because I didn't get the sense that they were broke either, so why wouldn't you? But I think they had to scramble because I have to give it to Giselle on this one. I think she thought, we are. You
don't want to get locked in for another contract.
We're done filming, and
I promised Bobby only 3 months. It's been 3.5.
When she said you were mad, I know I was mad. I said Bobby was probably cussing her out in his head, like you were supposed to handle all this, and you got
to have the energy when he was in the kitchen.
Yes. I said, oh, Bobby was mad.
He told us one particular thing. He dropped the ball, but he stands by his wife. He doesn't throw his wife under the bus.
And that's more than some of them.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, we kept you long enough. You had a very busy day. Again,
and
guys, make sure you're following. You ain't part. You go right to the bed. We're sorry for keeping you up this long. Guys, be sure to, if you're watching the replay of this, be sure to share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video because that's important. But also, I will be uploading this on other platforms. So make sure you're following both of us. Campfire on YouTube, We Go Podcast on YouTube and on the podcast platforms. We'll post links to all of that as well. You can see here in the chat, Taria S. Bison is her Cash App. Support her because she will be covering the Wendy Osefo case. For those that are watching the replay of this, share your thoughts. We had that full update. Thank you so much for being here. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy holidays to you and yours.
Happy holidays to you and yours. Don't act like we won't be talking before then, but I'll take it.
I know.
I was gonna say, that's in a week. We ain't gonna talk. Okay.
Less than a week now. It's 6 days.
Yeah, that's true. Can you? And then in 2 weeks we'll be saying Happy New Year. That's insane.
Lord.
I'm not discounting. I'm not jumping right into 26. I was gonna say I'm ready for what 2026 will bring, but I'm gonna appreciate being the rest of 2025 as well because things can change in a moment. So I'm looking forward to what the rest of 2025 will bring as well.
Amen.
Yeah, I think 2026 is gonna be my best year yet.
Same.
I'm manifesting that for you and me the same, and it's gonna keep getting better.
Yeah, this Wendy case is gonna put you on the map.
Listen, I'm gonna be out there like next time y'all see me, be like Denzel.
Next time, you know. Wait, before we go, why didn't you go up to them and ask a question?
I thought you was gonna forget to.
The press was right there. Like I would have stood there and waited for him. Like, okay, one more question.
I should have, and I.
But you had the trial. This is all.
Because ABC News was there. Again, I fell back into that. I'm not really this. I'm not really that. She's got the jacket on. ABC News, but I wanted to ask Wendy, how do you feel support from your fans? Like, since they were talking about the legal, I wanted to try to get her. I should have, and I will next time.
And get your pictures too. Get all of your pictures. I mean, your pictures are probably the one that was floating around first on social media in regards to this. So I would have stepped forward and asked your question.
Yeah. And I'm gonna start watermarking. People love to. Let me not even. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna start watermarking stuff as well. People love to.
They don't cite their sources like we do.
And then you got people in their comments saying, "Oh, look at you, boots on the ground." There was no boots on no ground, and my boots were on the ground. My sneakers were on the ground.
Hey, we cite our sources over here.
Okay. Or you have the people that wait till it comes from another source, just so they probably don't have to cite you.
Repost that source.
Yeah.
Lord.
But I said, even though I feel like I definitely, when I do the work want my credit, I know why I'm doing this, and it'll all come eventually.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the outside noise or anything like that. It's so that you can do your thing and build your own platform.
Amen.
And to me, it's crazy that I'm doing this when that was my major at first in college. And then I literally wanted to be an internship at it was either ABC or NBC News. I sent away for the intern packet when I was in college because that's what I wanted to do. And now it's like
full circle.
Yeah. Yep. So without that,
Dreaming of Bloom says your kitten heels. Don't forget your kitten heels. We need to raise money for her kitten heels. She has to go buy them. Taria Espazon, go donate to the Cash App, and that's the same as her Venmo.
High heels, kitty heels on my tippy. Well, they ain't gonna have me on my tippy, not no kittens, but I will wear them. Y'all raise.
Because Wendy's gonna be looking at you judging your fashion.
Right. That's another thing. I said she flies.
And then you're gonna be looking at her. Don't be looking at my fashion. This is what got you in your problem in the first place.
Look, me and my fashion is going. I'm assuredly will be back home this time next year. We can't say the same.
Okay, you need to get
on that note. We're going to say good night.
Sleep.
Taria Faison from What Else Is Going On podcast. Thank you so much for doing this. We appreciate you. Have a fantastic evening. Go to sleep.
I love y'all.
Bye, y'all. Thank you all for being here. Talk to you guys later. Make sure you're following us.
Yeah,
you're following us.
Follow them both. Kim Power.
Don't wear your don't you wear no kitten. We're not gonna see them. It's for her comfort. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Give me some Timberland. I'm gonna save some money for some. I love butter Tims. I ain't had them in a while. I'll go in there with my butter Tims on. I'll do that. That'll get me moving fast.
That's something else you need to look into. There might be a protocol for what to wear at certain courthouses. So, like in the South, you have to like women can't wear pants. They have to wear a dress. I don't know if it's still the same, but I remember when Oprah was on trial in Texas.
What for that beef trial? Wow.
Yep. So kitten heels might be mandatory at this courthouse.
Can you imagine? They're like, ma'am, no kitten. You must wear kitten heels, no lipstick, none of that. You can't be all cute in here.
Thank y'all.
They might say like no hats. They might not say like no sweatshirts. There might be a protocol. You might want to look that up.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea because I don't want to get there and be
turned away
after driving an hour. I might be on trial next to Wendy.
She needs gas money, guys. She needs gas money.
Look, I said I might be on trial next to Wendy, but I will get bond and be home. No, I'm just kidding.
God forbid. God forbid. All right, y'all. Everyone have a good night. I'll talk to you guys soon. Don't forget, Campfire After Dark live show is coming to New York City March 13th. 3 Room 42. One night only. Get your tickets. Live stream tickets are available. Check out my bio. Bye, y'all.
All right, y'all. That is the end of the podcast. Okay. So, hi, Welcome. Glad to have you here. Yes, it's still nighttime behind me. I'm Braylon Lee. You are you. I am me. We are we. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. In case you need to know where the hell you're at, let me just go ahead and show you. We are live on tour still. Braylon Lee's virtual tour live. 3 hours, 9 minutes, and 5 seconds. So here's how this thing worked out, right? I'm going to show you guys. Hang on, give me a moment, because Nikki News and Narcissism, or the official Nikki News, asked me, you know, are you going to do stuff like this? And I'm trying to find it. Okay, here it is here, right? So let me show y'all this here. So literally, as I was live, and we were watching other pieces of content, right? So I see this here, right, from We Go Podcast. It says we'll be going live. Empire will be going live. We Go Podcast at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on Instagram to discuss Ed, Wendy, and Eddie Ofizo's motion hearing, right? So there is that. So that's how that happened. Like I said, if you guys are here for it, I'm here for it. Obviously, we're still here. 3 hours, 10 minutes, and 2 seconds. So with that being said, I'm going to turn off my camera now because we done the whole show for over 3 hours. Yes, we have. Like I said, a lot going on. Let me come back on camera for that, child. Oh, that was a long live. Listen, don't ever say that y'all don't get good content over here. Okay, listen. And I know you don't, but still. Like I said, not surprised by the judge saying that the records will be submitted into the court for the prosecution be able to get those records and see what needs to be. Really was surprised by that. We Go Podcast did a great job in recapping all the details and everything else. For those of you who are wondering when Kempire will upload this, it's gonna take him a minute. But you got here first live on Braylon's virtual tour live. So, like I said, very, very proud of us over here because, you know, we have this thing that we play during the morning editions of our show called A Lot Happens Early. And believe me, if you stick around here long enough, a lot does happen early over here on our channel. So, yes, indeed. There was one other content creator that I wanted to showcase here, right here. So this is Paige and Pam. So here we go.
So I wanted to come on here briefly. Let me make sure my mic is on because this is a new mic that I got. Yes, it is on. Wonderful. Okay. So this today was very, very interesting. And I always say, let me adjust this. Okay. I am live. I'm alive. Listen, so I wanted to come on here briefly. Let me make sure my mic is on because this is a new mic that I got. Yes, it is on. Wonderful.
If y'all still want to talk to me, drop it in the comments live. I'm here.
Today was very, very interesting.
I don't know if Nikki
and
News
I always say
Queen T or
I always say
or the rest of
in
the eyes.
court,
thank you for
it's not whether you did it or not. It's whether you can prove it. Now, let me tell you, baby. First of all, there was press. The last time Wendy had a court hearing, it was just myself, Paige, and Dr. Pam, and it was What Else, Taria from What Else Is Going On podcast. Hey, girl. So it was just the two of us. But today, it was ABC News was there and the Baltimore Sun, and there was a spokesperson for the courthouse. Now, when I got there a little bit later. Court started at 8:45, and I got there by the skin of my teeth. I got there at like 8:38. So when I got there, I saw ABC, and I walked up to the van and I said, "Oh, there's press today. Where were y'all?" He was like, "Oh, well," he was very nice. He was like, "Oh, well, I don't know. My boss told us to come, so we're here." I'm like, okay. So we go into the courtroom. Again, the courtroom is not packed. Remember, it is a public courtroom. People are not just there for Wendy Osefo. It's other cases going on. So they called the first case, okay? They got done with that. Then they called the second case. Now, the judge had me shooked. The judge gave a stern warning. First of all, he said, I am aware that the last time there were pictures taken in this courthouse. He said, we can look on the cameras and take a screenshot, a timestamp of when it happened, but I'm not going to do that. He said, I understand there's media interest, there's public interest, but there will be no recording in the courthouse. I mean, he spends about, I took some notes, y'all. He spent about a good 5 minutes giving a stern warning. And they had bailiffs right behind Wendy and Eddie, and they look good. I'll talk about what they're wearing. And basically,
I'll play this
by media, like they were staring us down. Like, I dare you to take something out. I was shook. I don't want no problems. Okay, I want no problems. But that judge gave a very stern warning. Don't you even dare pull out your phone in this courtroom. He said, you know what? I could point out who did it, but he's like, I'm looking around the courtroom, but I'm not even going to do it. That judge is not playing around with nobody. So that was the first time. So that was the first announcement. I wrote in my notepad, I said, I am shooken. So next to me was Taria from What Else Is Going On podcast. And then I met, so behind me was another TikToker. Oh, I'm going to forget her name. It's Purple and, I forgot her name. But I will tag her on my Instagram.
I appreciate y'all. Thank
you.
So
let's talk about Wendy. I'm really, really concerned. Wendy looks so skinny, y'all. I'm not even trying to be shady. Wendy, when she first started Housewives, I would say she was about a good size 7, 8. Now, Wendy looks like a size 2. When I tell you Wendy is skinny, but not like skinny like she's trying to lose weight. Wendy looks skinny like stressed. Like I kept staring at her face and I was like, she's still beautiful. She is still beautiful. But her face looked a little sunken in, like right here. I almost was looking at her like, did she get work done? But I know she got work done on her body, but I don't think she got work done on her face. But let me tell you something. She looked good. This time she was just a little bit modest. The last hearing, remember I told y'all she had her cream outfit. She had the fur stole, right? But this time she had a very cute like pantsuit set. She had on a white top with a skinny tie, with kind of like a bustier, a black bustier. I have pictures on my Instagram, Paging Dr. Pam. You can go and look at the pictures. But just one thing that really, really surprised me was how skinny she looked, and it looked like stressed skinny. And I felt bad for her. I'm not even gonna lie. Eddie, of course, and I even wrote down, I put, Wendy looks tiny, size 2, ? Anyway, so Eddie had on a gray suit. Eddie, of course, looked nice, looked dapper. And then so next to me was also, I met Elizabeth from ABC News. Hey, girl. And so Elizabeth was next to me. And Eddie and Wendy kept looking back. And she had on an ABC News jacket. And so they kept looking at her jacket, like staring like, oh, media is here. Okay. So let's start with, after the judge made that stern announcement about photography, basically it was the defense turn. That defense attorney came out swinging, okay? He said, first of all, let me look at my notes. He said, first of all, it is not fair that you all are wanting to subpoena their business financial records. That's not fair, okay? He said it has no relevance to the case, okay? He also said, for example, you all talked about they're using pseudonyms like Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy. That is false. That is for them to get their packages. It has no ties to anything fraudulent, okay? The judge also said it was just, the lawyer said it was just for them to get their packages, okay? The defense attorney also mentioned that it's basically not, he's trying to get their certain evidence quashed. And I looked at it, I was like, is he saying squash or squash? Again, I'm not a lawyer, but it's quash, which means to nullify, to void out, because he's basically saying like the state's attorney basically just were picking at straws. It's kind of like they charged them and then subpoenaed them and then was like, oh, well, let's see what sticks, right? So today's motion was the defense basically wanting the judge not to allow just the business financial subpoenas, okay? Now, so it was a status hearing. Now, the judge also mentioned like, hey, I just got this case, so I need to be able to read some of the case laws that you guys have presented, and I will be back to you, right? Now, he did say, I'm liable, I'm inclined to side with the state, but let me go back and read and then I'll come back, okay? Now, let's go with the state's attorney. The state's attorney said, listen, just because we charged them doesn't mean that the case is complete. When we charge you with something, we have to still continue to investigate, okay? And so the state's attorney office said basically one bank account led to another bank account, led to another bank account, to another bank account. So we have to subpoena everything.
Now I'm gonna pause it here for a minute. By the way, shout out to the 11 people here, 12 people here now. Y'all literally, I went to YouTube. Look at this right here. 1 minute. Okay, this on the home page. Okay, on the home page. Let me zoom. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in. Hang on, real quick. Right there. Hang on. Right there. On the home page. Okay, on the home page. So, one love, much love, all love to all of y'all. Now let's go back. As y'all can see right there. See, I'm seeing myself within myself on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna take a screenshot of that just for a minute. Oh, come on, really? Is that what we're? Okay, well, I got the screenshot. Anyway, back to Paige and Dr. Pam for a minute. When that happened, right? Of course, the bank records, right, are going to be subpoenaed. No surprise by that. But in order to see if the pattern is consistent, they do have to subpoena everything. So the biggest thing that the prosecution is going to have to do, because they're the ones that's going to have to prove it, is can you follow the bouncing ball, right, without getting ahead of yourself? Can you handle the dodgeballs and still be in the game? Can you not miss a round of jump rope and trip on the rope? Okay, let's keep.
The state's attorney also said, for example, we saw multiple transactions between personal and business. So they're all relevant. We can't just subpoena a business and leave out personal. It's all together. She basically was like, all the bank accounts are tied to each other. Now, here is where the state messed up. The state said, you know what? We did look up Pam Oliver and we did look up Eddie Hennessy, and we did not find any ties to anything fraudulent. So the state did admit that, hey, Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy, even though they are real people, we have not seen Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo. We have not seen them use those names to apply for anything, to get any credit cards. So we'll just give you that, okay? We'll just give you that. And so when they said that, the defense attorney was like, he was looking like, see, I told you. So the state kind of messed up there, you know? And let me tell you something, when I was in court, when the defense was talking, I kind of was like, oh, I see what they're saying. I see what they're saying. But then the state gets up and I'm like, oh, I see what she's saying. I see what she's saying. Now, there was some shadiness going on in court, okay? Because she said, listen, the state's attorney is a woman. She said, listen, my purses are about $350, but we're talking about some $8,000, $9,000 purses here. We're talking about some Chanel bags here, right? And so we have to make sure that we are doing our due diligence to investigate, because this is the public has an interest in this and justice needs to be served. Now, the defense attorney got up and said, not in those terms, but the defense attorney basically was like, don't be mad because they live a different lifestyle than you do. I wrote down shady much. Now listen, y'all, this is going to be a long process, right? They're just getting started. The next court date, is January 21st at 1:00. This might go to trial in April. Okay, April. Okay, so let me look at my notes, y'all, because I wrote a lot. Oh, so they charged them, then they subpoenaed them, and when they subpoenaed them, now it was a lot of objections. Now, when they subpoenaed them, right?
Here with me.
The state attorney said that they found 4 luxury credit cards, right? And let me see what he said.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, it was 4 luxury credit cards, and I'm sorry, 4 luxury wallets. 4 luxury wallets. One, I said, she described it to a T. She said one was a Chanel lambskin black wallet. They found 10 credit cards in that one. The second credit card was Eddie's wallet. They found like 15 credit cards. A lot of them were store credit cards, like Nordstrom's, Lowe's, those sort of things, right? So, and then the other one was a red credit card with like another 15. So in total, with 4 wallets, they found over 67 credit cards. Who's walking around with over 67 credit cards? Over 67 credit cards. I said, what the heck? So then the state started to say, and also in the subpoena, we saw boxes, and then the defense said, objection, we're not even going to go there. And the judge was like, all right, let's just back up. Let's just objection. So keep in mind, they're being tried together. So you've got Wendy's lawyer, and then you've got Eddie's lawyer, right? Now, and then the state attorney office said, basically, the Osefos, her words were, had little money. Okay? I said, ooh, that is going to be a soundbite. Little money. So when they said,
it's little and broken, but still good. Still good. Shout out to Stitch. Rolling on.
That's a ooh. I know they're gonna be upset about that.
Oh
right?
my
God. Okay, so here's what the defense said. The defense said, listen, some of these credit cards are old credit cards. Some of these credit cards are expired credit cards. So for everything that the state had, the defense went back on them. Like, yeah, y'all might have found 67 credit cards, but were they active or were they expired, right? So the state said, listen, we are trying to find a motive, the motive, which is why. Why are they doing this in the first place, right? And the state basically is saying the motive is y'all had little money, and so basically you guys were doing fraudulent, right? That's what the state is saying. Remember, the burden of proof is on the state's attorney's office, not the defense. They're the ones that have been charged. It's up to the state it's up to the state to basically prove their case, right? So, okay, so the state also said, listen, the reason why we are we're subpoenaing business and personal, because, for example, you've got one business bank account that has Eddie Osefo's name on it, but when you look deeper, it says Onion Home Essentials, which is Wendy Osefo's candle company, right? So while it looks like a business, while it looks like a personal, I don't know, savings account, it's tied to business. So the state basically saying that's why we have to have access to other accounts. And the defense kept bringing up the media a lot. The defense said, basically, state, you are trying to embarrass the Osefos because you know the media has an interest in this because for you. And then the defense said, there's no evidence to support that the Osefos were in financial distress. And so I want to know that too. Like, I'm like, all right, defense, if you are, all right, state, if you're saying that the Osefos had little money, if you're saying the Osefos were in financial distress, then you've got to be able to prove that. And saying that somebody has over 67 credit cards, that's not sufficient. Where are the bank accounts to prove that they were in financial distress? That is what the defense attorney is trying to say.
Okay, now listen, I will agree with that and disagree with that. Who else do you know in your life or in mine, right, that's got 67 credit cards? I have a couple. That's it. That's all. I don't believe in debt. Okay, I just don't. I like staying out of it. You know what I mean? My mom said that there is such a thing as good debt, you know, when you're doing an investment, this, that, and third. But I'm like, no. 67 cards is a lot. So I do think that is sufficient evidence, but it's not the smoking pal, though. So let's keep going. But I am liking Paige and Dr. Pam. All right, here we go.
Okay. And they kept bringing up the media. Like, y'all are just trying to embarrass these people. Now, the state attorney's office, right? They have subpoenaed bank records going all the way back to 2018, right? Because they know, the state's attorney know that, for example, sometimes there's only a 7-year look back. Not all banks are going to willingly provide records, you know, for financial whatever, all the way back in 2010. But the state's attorney said, for example, we know there were purchases made in 2010 and y'all returned them, but claimed them as stolen, right? So again, right now they're only going back to 2018, right? So they are asking for financial records from 2018 on up. But they said, we know we have some receipts of items purchased in 2010 that was later returned. They have proof of that. They have proof that they bought it, they returned it. Okay. So basically today is just trying to figure out, like, what are they gonna accept into evidence? What are they not gonna accept to evidence? Oh, they also mentioned PayPal. The state said that that Wendy had a PayPal account and was doing activity on the PayPal account. The defense said no. Wendy Osefo has not had a PayPal account. Okay. Yeah, they have not had a PayPal account, so you need to take that out. The defense basically is saying, like, listen, let me tell you guys something. You cannot have access to all these financial records because you're just using it to embarrass them, and that is not fair. Let me tell you something. They have a really good defense attorney. Now, you've got Eddie's lawyer and you've got Wendy's lawyer. I like Wendy's lawyer. He came out swinging. Again, the state basically has to go back and take back the fact that they said that Wendy and Eddie were using the pseudonym Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy for fraudulent activity. The state said, I'll give you that. It was just for packaging. So that's already like one strike against the state. The defense, I will say, they're upset because they're like, you're asking for all these bank records because you falsely charged them, and now you're just trying to find things to find out what sticks. And the state is like, we have to ask for all bank records because each bank record is tied to one another. We saw multiple transactions among all the bank records. So sorry, we have to do it, right? So the judge said, I'm not going to give a ruling today. They cited some case laws, right? They cited some case laws. And the judge said, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these case laws and I'm going to come back and I'm going to render a decision. However, January 21st at 1:00 is going to be the next court date. Y'all do not expect this to be a short process. This is going to be a long process. They threw out the date April as a trial date, but that's not definite. Here's what I'm thinking.
Call me another summer.
Somebody gets charged and people think like, oh, it's a shoo-in. But what I am learning is what you can prove. What can you prove? And the burden is on the state. So if there's anything else that I need to
why I gotta work?
If there's anything else that I need to come back and report, I will. I took a ton of notes because they were just going. And shout out to my girl Taria from What Else Is Going On podcast. She may have more information. We are the boots on the ground gals. My Instagram is Paging Dr. Pam. My YouTube is Paging Dr. Pam. And my TikTok is Paging Dr. Pam. Hope you all enjoy the recap, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Shout out to Paige and Dr. Pam, a great CC, from what I can see, a great content career there. Now I'm going to turn off my camera now because we done the whole show for over 3 hours. Yes, we have. Whew, my Lord Jesus. Y'all got any thoughts, concerns, anything? I know it's been a very long live here. 3 hours, 34 minutes, and 9 seconds here. So, yes, indeed. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Had to give me something to drinky. 16 people. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, my Lord. Truly. What a live. Now that hit the spot. And also, what an epic week this was. So, if y'all wonder what I'm going to be up to, I'm going to give y'all the very simple, simple, dimple. Because this was a bonus story, right? This was not planned at all. Literally, I saw everybody was talking about Wendy and Eddie. I'm like, okay. I did the morning show this morning at 11 a.m., did my 6 p.m. show. I'm like, should I do it? Should I do one more show? And I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and go for 8:30. Now, I did not know that was going to happen with We Dope Podcast until I saw that. And I was able to bring that to y'all live on Instagram. So you're welcome. I will definitely do more of these. It just depends on timing and if I have the availability to do it. You know what I mean? But as long as y'all are here for it, I'm here for it. So with that being said, to Lati Dati and everybody, in the words of T-Talk with your girl. And by the way, light, love, and prayers to everybody at Winter Wonderland. I hope you guys made it there safe, sound, and whole. Hope y'all have a wonderful time. Not too much of a good time, okay? You gotta get back home safe. But much love, prayers to everybody this holiday season. I do mean everybody, because Lord Jesus, you know, the holidays, you can get depressed, you can get in your mind and everything in between, and just yeah. So let's just give love, grace, and space to each other in this holiday season. Okay, that's Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Festivus, and everything in between. And then it'll be a brand new year. All right. So with that being said, everybody, to the 12 people that are here, because I think everybody is all good in the neighborhood. Shout out to Nikki News shout out to the official Nikki News, and also shout out to Queen T. 75489 as well. Thank you all for being here, even the people in the bushes right now. Thank you so much. With that being said, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you weren't born special, because you are always born a blessing and trust. You may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Why? It's one thing to call yourself, it's another thing to be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You have spent time with me. Hopefully, by spending time together, rise up to be great. We'll rise up to be great together. Always remember, we're doing radio, television, YouTube, living your best life, or listen, you are just broadcasting some tea for the people because you are about serving the people. Make sure the replay is not just where for you watch it, not just where you listen to it, but for you want to experience it again. I love you. I value. I embrace you all. Always remember, or see love, you gotta give it, or see love, you gotta give it, or see love, you gotta give it. Wherever obstacles you overcome, where successes you have achieved upon this particular day, I'm extremely proud of you, but no one else is proud of you. Proud of your damn self. And finally, y'all listen. Everything that we have done this year together in the years that have passed has been because of hard work and discipline. Okay, just know that hard work and discipline. So yeah, one love, much love, all love. I feel the love and send it right back to you. Commercial break and fireworks coming your way for the day that was, for the day that's come, and for the blessings and all the way for you, me, all of us, as a society, as people, as a culture. I feel the love. And I send it right back to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Love you all. Bye-bye.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you that.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Are video games getting too expensive? This episode, we want to find some common ground because the CEOs want to raise the price even more.
Not with these broken-ass games.
$5 million. That's how much San Andreas costs to make. Is it their fault for selling or our fault for buying?
Corporations claim all this stuff. Devs say otherwise.
Sports gamers, cozy gamers, whatever you call the people who play Power Wash Simulator.
I think it stings a little bit more because I'm spending my actual money and my mom is not. Imagine they get rid of all movie theaters and then charge you the same price to watch the same movie at home.
That's like every streaming service. It doesn't have to be the longest of games, but am I having fun with it? This is Lex. I'm Ronell. Let's get right into it.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the
Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time.